Josh, this is where you're working at, right? This one?
Yep.
Yes, I thought.
My little domain of solace and tears.
Solace.
Yeah, let me check
This is
the.
where you masturbate in silence.
Yo, what if that was a benefit? What if that was a benefit, Dr. Page?
You get a room to masturbate in silence if you want.
Yo, I'm not gonna give you dental. I'm not gonna give you health insurance,
You're
but
not-
you're free. Feel free to come here and masturbate whenever you want.
You're gonna get nothing but masturbation time
Masturbation benefit.
because we know you don't get it at home.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man,
Oh my
I live
God.
alone right now.
Dude,
So.
Stacy might have some. Well,
That's right,
never
you
mind.
do.
Oh.
Hang on, is it actually rolling?
Yeah, I started recording.
Oh, I see. I
This
see the
is
clock.
just,
I'm such a fucking dumbass. I see the clock. Yeah, I went to
Audio mark to cut out.
Audio mark to
Everything
cut out?
before it.
No, we're keeping. I'm keeping everything in,
Oh,
man.
no.
That's part of the magic of it. That's the magic. We're gonna be. Everyone's gonna
pristine.
know that this studio, the employees get masturbation.
No,
That's what you need to use for the buzzer on the way in.
Oh my god!
This is your masturbation time.
You don't have a lunch break.
Oh, but
Yeah.
you don't get to
Dr.
eat, you get
Pinion
to
hears
masturbate.
this, I'm gonna lose my job.
Doctor, dude, he saw you flip the fuck out, and he's like, "You need to watch your language, Josh." And
he
that's about
he
it.
did see me flip out one time.
Did he
What
give
was
you?
that?
I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was working on a mix for somebody, and I just got really upset that something wasn't like.
I'm not surprised.
Classic. Something super small went wrong, and I just lost it.
Dude, did he give you a stern talking, or was it
No,
like a
he
really
was just
quick?
like, it's not that deep. Just take a break from it and come back, and it'll be okay.
Josh, you need to calm down.
Basically, what he said was I just needed to calm down. I was
man.
getting legit angry.
I've seen that, Josh.
Oh, I've seen it plenty of times.
I've seen that Josh a lot,
what's
especially in Halsey late at night.
Oh my
Jesus.
god, yo,
There
Drew, tell me some stories you've seen Josh just flip his shit. 'Cause he's definitely.
Drew saw me throw drumsticks across Halsey, and they shattered when they hit the wall.
Are you talking about the hallway or the resume?
No, in 210.
Oh my
I was
God.
practicing for my recital, and I don't remember what I was playing, but it was really hard, and I just yeeted this drumstick, and it as hard as I could, and it snapped in half
Jesus.
on contact. Of
Imagine
that
if
wall.
you did that during your the jury, and then you just nailed someone on the head.
Oh yeah.
There were times I probably wanted to do that
Oh my
and just
God.
take somebody out.
There were a lot of late nights at Halsey.
There
man.
were a lot of late nights in that white building apartment you used to
Oh
live in.
Lord.
Dude, Halsey, I used to smuggle so many clients in and out when I wasn't supposed to.
Yes.
I don't even know if it's legal for me to talk about this, but I made like a part-time job money just using things that weren't mine.
Well, you
Editing
know what's
bay, man.
you know what's-
Nobody did.
You know what's funny about that? You remember when we recorded in 210?
Oh yeah, we got in trouble.
Bambro comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, what were you doing in 210 the other night?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" he goes, I mean, I didn't know that that's what he was referring to when he asked. And I said, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "Yeah, were you not recording in 210 the other day?" I was like, "Yeah, we were actually. What's it to you?" And he goes, "Hey, you're not allowed to do that." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, don't do that anymore because that's going to give the wrong impression." I said, "We're literally all music majors." I was like, "What's the problem? We're
Music tech majors.
practicing and
At
we're
that.
recording real quick. We had nowhere else to go."
Man, you should have told him. I'm just trying to make a quick buck, man. Help
It
a
was-
brother out.
It was just it was on a whim.
It was
That-
literally a pop-up thing.
a friend of ours came down from,
From
Huntsville.
Oh,
And
It was
he
just
was-
like, and I
Yeah.
came as soon as I got off work, and we just like.
And
did
every
this
time he
thing.
comes around, we always record. We always put whatever we can down, like just for the sake of. He's always got ideas, and he never records it himself. He always waits till he comes around, either one of us or whatever. And so we were practicing, and we were hanging out, and
Yeah, it was just like a.
Matt and and Jay go to Halsey, go to 210, and then Josh shows up, and we just started recording.
Yeah, I just got the key out of the studio.
I still have all those files too, by the way.
Ooh.
man, man.
That gong hit at the
We
end.
did, yeah. Oh my God.
That's about what it sounded like.
I think the reason he got onto you is apparently there's a thing, right, where if you create content on the campus,
That's what it was.
then becomes a big problem of who owns the IP, right?
That's what it was.
That's
That's
yeah.
all it was.
I was told about this because because they'll fucking go after you, man. Like if you
They
start
really will.
if you start making money off of it and the equipment's not yours, this is the problem I ran into when I first, did that whole smuggling shit
Yeah.
of clients, where I had to be so secretive about it and I couldn't tell people where I was working.
Right.
I had to, with my clients, I had to say, do not tell anyone I'm running a jank ass studio
Yeah.
out of a building, because I do not own any of this equipment.
Right.
I only own the microphone.
Right.
That's about it. So yeah, that went on. That actually got out of control because one night I had the bright idea of just, hey, let's invite all 20 of my clients in.
Oh, Jesus.
And let's just have a jam out.
Oh,
come
no.
record. Like, hey,
Oh,
I'll
my
discount
God.
the price. So the cake.
You lost it when you said I'll discount the price.
Yeah.
And
So-
that's when all quality just died.
So
right then.
20 of the people I knew came in, and then 15 other motherfuckers I've never seen in my life just walked
That's
in.
how it is with rappers.
So here's the.
You never know which one's the guy that called you, or if it's the dude's cousin.
I think one of them was homeless, dude.
He probably was.
He paid, man, but it got out of control because the KK sign TBS people, I didn't know they were having a night down there, and all of a sudden, not to be
Oh,
racist
man.
or anything, they see 35 the most fucking hood black people out of like Ainsley or whatever
Oh, man.
just walk up the stairs
Pratt City, baby.
with me at the helm, just looking down the hallway to see if anyone's there. Yeah,
They're all
there were 18 people from KK Psi who saw me. At that point, it was.
Gonna break out in a stomp before you know it.
And at that point, I was like, "Hey guys, I'm
can't do this
not
again."
gonna do that anymore."
Oh my goodness.
Like, oh man,
There were plenty of times I would have band practice at like midnight in
Yep.
Halsey, because that was the only time I knew it was safe to come in to use the stuff. So
That's when we
Bird's
practiced.
Nest would
Oh,
practice
God.
in Halsey from midnight to like 3 a.m.
oh man.
And then I would go crash on Steven's couch in his dorm or in their apartment.
That's what we did for that.
For the
sorority gig.
yeah, me, Drew,
Jay and
Nate, right? Nat, Nate?
Nathan.
Nathan, man,
My
he
buddy
looks-
Nathan. He looks just like
He looks like one of my friends from high school.
Who never got out of high school?
I'm blanking on her
Who never
name.
got out
She
of
just
base.
played on Tiny Desk. It was
Don't watch Tiny Desk.
Julian Baker. He
just-
looks literally just like Julian Baker. Like
Maybe-
I always send him pictures of her and him, and I'm like, Julian Baker or Nathan Gaskins, you pick.
Dude, it
it's
probably
his,
is,
it's
man.
his scraggly beard that gets
yeah,
me.
yeah. He's
Where-
really
Which
good.
second in Charles does he work at?
Hoover.
So the one on 31.
Yeah,
I need to go there.
Yeah.
Pay him a visit. I haven't.
over where the Toys R Us closed.
I haven't seen him
Yeah, rip.
since that.
Yeah,
Rest
rip.
in peace, Toys R Us.
Not
Hey,
that I,
I
have
thought they
kids
were.
or
I thought they
anything,
were
but-
getting bought out and brought back.
Oh, did you see what name it was? It's something really stupid.
What's the name, man?
Is it just toys or something? I remember they changed the. Everybody was in an uproar about the change of the logo.
What was the?
I'm looking it up because I
What was
forgot.
the change?
It wasn't.
I didn't
It
catch
was a
this.
giraffe at one point. In the
Yes.
name Toys R Us, there was a giraffe.
There was a
somewhere,
giraffe, and
then it
people
got
lost their
changed.
shit.
Which I mean, I can't remember the last time I went to Toys R Us. Anyway,
I-
so
Well, you get. I don't know why there's rumors of them bringing back Toys R Us, because Amazon's just gonna fucking kill it.
Yeah, they are.
They're gonna kill it
They are.
anyway. Or
Well, we're
people-
getting the new warehouse or whatever, the shipping center in Bessemer.
Yes, I heard about that, man.
too bad we're not getting the new headquarters. That would have
No,
been.
yeah.
That would have been sick. You could have got
Oh my
same
God.
day.
Well, you know what I heard is apparently something about the headquarters locations that are going in places. They are creating jobs, but apparently they're bringing jobs from other countries. So it's not really like it's doing anything for the U.S.
Also,
anyway.
Dude, might
they're
as well.
getting
Dude.
ridiculous tax
Dude,
write-offs.
I'm
Yes.
for it.
The one
Yes.
the one in DC and Virginia, it's in the billions of tax write-offs that they're getting to put the other headquarters there.
Dude, I'm for it. Just bring 50,000 angry Vietnamese. don't even clear them. They don't have to be legal. Just make them work. It'll be great. I love it.
No taxes.
I love no
nothing.
taxes whatsoever.
Oh, no. This is taking a turn for the
Yo, if
worst
Amazon-
immediately.
If Amazon headquarters came to Birmingham, they would beat out the amount of money that the UAB hospital makes.
You just put them on the phone support. That's all you got to do.
I thought,
Hello?
oh, no.
What do you want?
Don't do
What
it.
you want?
You want what? You go back tomorrow. Long distance expensive. That's how it go, man. I swear, man. When I went to Vietnam, I don't think I even saw one happy Vietnamese person there. They all look angry. They were eating cigarettes. And they were looking at me. I'm like 3 times bigger and taller than all of them. It's like, look at this healthy motherfucker.
That's
We're
their
gonna chop
rations
you
for the
up. So
Fry you with the rice.
fry you with the rice.
I know what you need to call this.
What?
I thought about it today.
I already
You need
have
to-
a name for it, but
No,
go
but
ahead.
you need to call it the Juan cast.
The Juan cast? Oh, my
and in
fucking
the
God.
opening, the opening is a sample of Dr. Panion saying, "Hey Juan."
You want to know how often Josh probably thinks about this, right?
No, I thought about that today and
I'm
told
never
it to
gonna let it.
Katuan, and Katuan lost it.
The Juan cast.
What is the name? I don't even know what the name is.
That's
Yeah.
funny. The name is the Come On Show
Come On
podcast.
Show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not as catchy as the Juan cast. Look at this. Like we're already
Now he's thinking about
Look
it.
at this. We're 4 episodes in. Now I gotta pay Jacob to redo a fucking logo. Thanks a lot, Josh.
Now he'll be. I like that.
Jacob does them fast. What you talking about?
Yeah, he does.
I know, but he does some good work. So like
After Effects, man.
I don't
UAB
mind.
digital media.
Do you have a
Coming through
moving? Do you have a moving logo, or is it just like a static logo?
It's static for now.
Okay.
I gotta save up some money. I don't want Jacob to work for free. He's too fucking good for that, man. I don't want him to.
I
I love the stuff he's posting. Huh?
Yeah, I've seen it too.
Is he moved to Mobile?
Yeah.
He's in Mobile
working.
right now.
Did his
Who is
lady?
it that he's working for?
I don't know.
She's not moved yet. No.
No,
She's playing the gig with me actually that I'm doing this weekend for the Christmas
okay.
cantata. Yeah.
Is he still dating?
Yeah.
Him and
They're
Twins?
they're still together.
Okay, now they're gonna get married.
I was staying away from the name.
Yeah. Probably best.
We don't know the name.
probably
No,
best.
I know the name.
No,
Oh, do I know the name? Do I?
It may just be best to not say the name though, just to be on the safe side.
Yo, sometimes I just don't give a shit. I'll be like, "Hey, Elizabeth," and
Well,
it's Catherine. It's like- sometimes I just don't give a shit.
I don't know if it's still a sore subject, but for a hot minute, it was rough in that camp.
Dude, I bet it was,
Of
man.
Yeah.
Said person.
Oh,
The other person was totes fine.
oh, I think I know. I know why you're keeping it. I know who y'all talking
All
about.
right, here we go. Tiny hat.
It looks like a condom.
So it's so
Looks
Drew.
like you're rolling it on right now.
So Drew, what the fuck you been up to, man?
Man, I have been staying busy. I have been gigging. I've been working on projects. I've got the day job.
What's your day gig, man?
I am the audiovisual tech at a law firm.
Wow.
It's decent. I like it. The people, I mean, they're lawyers. So
Right.
they're not the best humans in the world, and they're not really like humans in some case. like sometimes like you'll look at one and it's like the lights are on but nobody's home.
It's like looking at Mark Zuckerberg.
But all they do is work. So like they are their work. That is what they're known for. And so like I handle video conferencing and audio conferencing, and I do a lot of like I make devices talk over the network. It's cool. I like it. And it's a good day job for the time being, and it allows me to work on other projects, and it allows me to have my weekends and nights so I can gig and do other stuff and, do this, for example.
Right, for sure, man.
But
it's probably better than
this
dealing with
weekend
rappers.
you speak of?
this
It's probably better than working with rappers.
Yeah.
Josh can tell.
my
Josh and I
weekend
can
is
tell.
when I work on my other stuff. So I feel you.
Or play
what's-
Red Dead?
Or play Red Dead.
Oh man, that game's so good, man.
Isn't it?
The amount of time they put into it is ridiculous,
It's
right?
literally it's the biggest map that's ever been done before.
It's not even the biggest map. It's just such a good game. Like,
Biggest map, most content, most everything.
right? Do you
Red
see
Dead 2.
Red Dead 2, right? You guys seen the sales of Fallout 76 and Battlefield 5, right?
Well-
but we're not gonna talk about the marketing or the PR situation that happened. But when Rockstar just puts out a game, it's over for that year.
Well,
In my
Fallout
opinion.
76 is getting sued hardcore right now.
Oh, it's
They are.
sued? But
Because-
are they getting
Because of
small claims?
Malpractice, I
Bingo.
think, because they have. At first, they weren't giving out refunds for whatever reason.
Bingo. This is exactly
Yeah,
why
'cause
right
that-
here.
So they,
I had heard
Well, because-
a lot of people were real mad when 76 came out because it definitely was not.
It's like a beta the whole
advertised.
time.
I haven't played it. I play Fallout
Yeah.
to play alone. I
Yeah.
shut the door of my room,
Yeah.
turn the lights off, and I blow people up with mini nukes all by my lonesome.
But
that's
they're-
what it's made for.
Their deal with refunds, though, is they said you could get a refund if you get a hard copy, but they don't give hard copies because
Yeah.
when you buy it in the package, you get a download code.
Yo, so check this shit out, right? Yeah, exactly. They say for the Ultimate Edition, you get like this hard package, but you don't have a physical package of the game. You don't have a physical copy of
Well,
the game.
the-
It's a digital download.
Yeah,
you can only
but
get
it
a refund if you have a
it
physical
comes
copy
with
of the
that-
game.
That really
They're
sick
fucking genius, man.
power suit helmet, though.
Yeah.
I saw a really great meme of somebody unboxing that, and they put the helmet on, and they turned the game on, and then it was Red Dead 2. And they were just playing Red Dead 2 in the Fallout helmet. It was so funny.
But yeah, dude, I feel bad for Bethesda because they have such a good track record, right?
They do.
They have a good track record.
It's
But-
so weird that they did something so like
I think-
EA.
I think
Right?
it-
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's the management. It's always the management
always the
just
management.
fucking something up. And then like this is what happens when you just get more people involved in a company or in general, right? If you have to adhere or compromise with more people, something's gonna fuck up along the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it's gonna be. Your product's gonna come out shit. You're gonna have like a stupid PR issue with Battlefield 5 where what was his name? I don't know his name, but he said either accept the fact or don't buy the game. And guess what they did? They didn't buy the game.
I never played Battlefield.
Oh, I love
Look.
Battlefield. I prefer it over COD.
Scratch that. I think I did play what the Battlefield had the World War One game, right?
Battlefield
Well,
1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that and COD always does World War
Two.
1 and 2 and everything else.
I-
But
I quit playing COD after I stopped being a freshman in college.
COD will only ever be around as long as there's 12-year-olds.
Well, there's always going
Oh,
to be
man.
12-year-olds.
And there's always going to be 12-year-olds. That's
They
right.
wouldn't last in a PS3 or Xbox 360 chat today.
Oh, man.
I played. Did I ever tell you that I played Fortnite once and got second place on my first try, not knowing how this game works?
I have literally played Fortnite one time, and I don't like it.
I've never
I
played Battle
I
Royale.
downloaded it, played one game, got second place, said, then uninstalled it off the PlayStation 4. And then I started playing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's another fun game.
And oh man, Spider-Man's so good.
That's what I've heard.
So good.
I have an Xbox One, though, or an Xbox One S.
Oh,
but-
that stinks.
So, but, I mean, I'm just used to Xbox. That's where all my stuff is at anyway.
Right.
Oh,
And that's
yeah, I was
all
a-
my 360 games, and they have support for it, and I love all that. And so,
Sony's not going to E3 this year, which leads me
Really?
to believe that next holiday season PS5's coming
They're
out.
coming out in new gen.
And I've heard tale rumors that PS5 is going to be backwards compatible all the way to PlayStation
now that'd be nice.
Uno. And if that's the case,
I may get one
your
just
boy
for-
is sold
Yeah.
to be able to play Tony Hawk.
I was about to say
Underground.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Oh my God.
Oh man,
I'm
it's
surprised.
about to get lit.
I'm
Yes.
surprised that consoles are still around though, because so many people do PC gaming now, right?
You'd be surprised. Yeah.
I know a lot of dudes who have PCs, but all their friends
Yeah.
have consoles.
I-
'Cause the PC market.
I
is-
don't like PC gaming.
It depends
I
on the
like it.
game, like Dota or
RuneScape.
Wow. Let me just build a $1,600 PC to play RuneScape on high quality.
You can run it
Stop.
at 60 FPS. Don't worry.
You're joking, but I know people who did that.
Yes.
They play RuneScape
I have a buddy who does that right now.
on this insane machine.
He's probably doing it as we speak. I want you.
Oh man.
Oh,
Yo,
man.
I bet he's got dual 1080 Ti's.
He probably does.
He's got some rigged up machine and he's just playing RuneScape.
Yeah.
What a great what a
Well,
great
you know,
investment.
old RuneScape came out on
With a
mobile.
new
came out on
app.
mobile.
Yeah. They ported it from Android because it's been on Android forever.
Yeah,
But it just
ooh.
came to iOS.
My fiance's little sister's boyfriend is hardcore into RuneScape, and he asked me if I played.
How
I was
old
like,
is he?
He's 19.
Oh.
You know,
I think I accidentally just roasted him then.
Yeah, when you said, "Oh,
I do it. I'll
Sorry.
roast him all day. won't stop me.
no one's safe in this room right now."
Because he asked me if I played. I was like, yeah. When it was first, like when it first came out, and all my friends played. I quit playing when I went to college.
Right.
Yeah, I played it
He
when I
like-
was a fetus.
When I was a 12-year-old.
Oh man. Well, I didn't have internet when I was 12. Back in my day.
You didn't have internet.
No,
Yo,
where
that-
I lived, like we couldn't get it.
Yeah, he was out.
Whatever that means.
He was in the middle of
Jesus.
Alabama, fuck nowhere.
Yeah.
I lived in the woods.
He's one of
It's
those.
so
bears.
weird now that like how do we not have internet everywhere? Like why are there not satellites
Well,
just providing Wi-Fi? I know
That's one of the
Mr.
biggest
Musk,
things with 5G supposed to be coming. That's one of the big pushes for 5G, or one of the reasons.
AT&T has like what's it called? Uverse Gig or something like that.
Fiber, probably.
Yeah, they have fiber. Now Sam's dad had Google Fiber at his house in Huntsville, and it was sick.
Huntsville's the only place in Alabama that's supposed to have it right now.
Yeah, no, they are. They are
Yeah.
definitely the only place
They
that has
are
Google
because
Fiber.
Yeah.
because you got your what is it, Comcast? They got their grimy little fingers on everything right now, so they just
Yep.
Spectrum just came out with their version of
Yeah.
Google Fiber. I'm interested to call them and see because it's supposed to be like 500 up, 500 down,
Well,
which would be insane for Alabama.
and a lot of the thing with the fiber right now is it's all enterprise. It's not commercial.
Yeah.
Like businesses have fiber, like we don't though. They're not going to give it to us just yet.
Now, and oh man, I wish we had fiber here.
'Cause they're trying
the
to-
internet in this room is garbage.
because
I
I
bet.
think they're trying to just control. Like, let me take a step back for a second. You remember when let's talk about we were talking about internet for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the internet. Let's go back to TV when there was just radio, right? They say TV killed the radio,
Mm-hmm.
and what's next? The internet killed the TV. So what happens to all your your major broadcasting networks that like your Fox, your CNN, Entertainment, whatever? Well, now you have this. You can get all this entertainment and content on the internet, like YouTube. It's for free. So it makes going back to the whole data thing. It makes me wonder when it's going to get to that point where now your bandwidth is. Basically,
We're there.
it's there.
We're already there.
You think you were already there?
I know we're already there. That's
Dude.
part of the deal with the whole net neutrality stuff, and they got rid of it. And a lot of that is like on your data on your phone plan.
Right.
You'll start getting throttled even if you've got unlimited. Okay, you pay for unlimited.
I'm well aware they throttle it. At
They
a certain
throttle
point.
you to hell and back. And on top of that, the internet service providers are starting to get to that point where they're it's like the conversations are starting to do that, and it's going to get to that point eventually, especially with no net neutrality. So, and the idea of net neutrality is good, but what they're saying, what the federal government is saying is that it's interstate traffic, and so they've got the power to regulate it. Or yeah,
I mean, I know we get throttled right now because I pay $100 a month for 300 down and 30 up, which is for personal use is pretty fast.
Yes.
I don't even get close to 50.
Yeah.
On a good day, I might hit 30 megabytes a second download, maybe, and that could be that I have one of those like modem routers that should just be a modem, and I should
Well,
have bought a router.
yeah.
But
The Eros are really good.
yeah, and I brought in like a gaming router, like one
Yeah.
of those pulls a couple of gigs a second. I still wasn't getting that great, and it may just be because I live in Birmingham.
Dude, I live where I live at, man. It's like we do not have any good internet there, man.
What do you got?
I used to have Charter, right? But then we changed because they started jacking up their price. So we kind of just juggle back and forth between internet.
It's good that
ISPs.
you can actually change because everywhere is starting to just be a monopoly with that point.
Right, but here's
with
the
that
thing.
stuff.
Here's the thing with AT&T, right? The only AT&T line they have there is like some shitty 16 up and 16 down. And what
You don't even get close.
No.
we don't even get close to it.
No.
But I pay $40, 16 up, 16 down. That's all I need. I don't need that much. But here's the funny part, right? When my dad was changing the internet that I was paying for, right? He changed the DSL. He wasn't aware what DSL was. It's basically like
Big
East.
oof.
So I was paying $50 a month for like your best for East Africa's finest internet speeds, basically. And I just look at the bill and I just said, "Hey, Dad, what plan did you get?" He said, "I got the DSL one." I was like, "Oh shit!" So
Yeah, man,
I
it sounded
had-
great.
I had
I was like, "Oh,
I
shit."
had AT&T. So I moved out in 2014, and we had Charter because that's what the apartment complex like. You had to get Charter.
That's where everybody.
That was no
Yep.
choice. You had Charter like cable, so you had to get Charter internet.
Mm-hmm.
Something like I guess they had like a deal with Charter for the whole. And then I moved out of that place, which we had good internet. Like it was 30. So like I mean, I could play PlayStation online. Seth could be on Netflix and his brother could be web surfing, and then Stacy could be on her iPad. So like all four of us could do things, and it wasn't bad. Me and James moved into the apartment that I'm still in and had AT&T. Oh boy, oh boy, you want to talk about bad? It was so bad. There was one day that we didn't even get half a megabyte.
I believe it.
It's so bad.
Their speeds are significantly less.
Yeah, and then I got so mad one day. I called AT&T and just said, "I cancel." And
I cancel.
I hung up, and I called Charter, and I said, "Give me your finest internet." And they brought a dude out, and he gave me the finest internet, and that's what I've had since.
We're going back to the dial-up days where you be playing RuneScape, and then someone gets on the phone.
Oh no!
And he's screaming, "Mom, I'm playing RuneScape! Get off the phone!" Stuff like that. It's almost like that. Oh man,
Dude, I don't know how I'd function without internet.
I pay
now.
for good Wi-Fi, and it's because I know I need it because I want to be able to have good. That's one thing I don't want to be without is good Wi-Fi, because we have everything that runs off it now, and I don't want to have to worry about it.
So so since we're speaking so much about the internet and technology, I kind of get this weird knee-jerk reaction when people say, "Oh, the phone and the internet's ruining kids." It was like I don't think that's the case. Really,
Too much of it is.
Too much is
I
bad,
could,
but
I could,
too
show,
much
I
of
could
anything.
show you some examples.
But too much of it is pretty bad. But I mean,
Well, it's the same with
Too
TV.
much of anything though is a
bad
problem.
for you. Too much food, you die.
too
much water,
you get fat before you
you
die.
die.
It's not a bad. I don't think it's a bad thing. I love it. Like I love technology. I'm all into like gadgets and gear and electronics. I mean, we all are obviously, but
Right.
But like,
Look at this desk.
look, cue the desk. But no, like I like it a lot. I think it's great, and we can do a lot more with it than we've ever been able to do, and it's just going to keep getting more.
It's just a case of the older generation always just they don't like
Yes.
change and they're just talking shit.
Well,
It is that. It's a lot of
happened
that.
every time something cool has came up.
Yes.
The radio,
But-
people were against it. TV,
Yes.
people were against it. In the computers, people were against it. Everything being online, people are against it.
Right.
And it's just because they don't understand. And
Same thing goes with
And-
music.
yeah,
No.
Yeah. And at the same token, though, it's also, I don't want to do the whole like social media is ruining everybody. But the problem with it is they rely too much on it. Like it's a great tool and you can use it as a lot of different things, but people
Right.
focus too much on it. And then they're like, oh, well, crap, I need to do this or else I'm not going to have this many friends, or I'm not going to have, I need to have at least 50 likes or else that was a shitty post. And I'm like, you
I
need to
just think-
chill is what you need to do.
I think the internet.
At that point, if you're on that type of level,
Yeah.
there are bigger
There's
fish
a
to
bigger
fry.
issue,
You got-
like-
There's
yeah.
there's a deep seated problem.
You've
That
got other
mean-
problems that you need to work
You need
out.
to
No.
go talk to somebody.
You know what
Yes.
that means? You just don't do anything with your fucking life.
That's
what
right.
It means.
That's exactly
So-
right. You need to find something productive to do with your
So
time.
here's the thing with the internet, right? I don't think it changed people. I think it just showed people who they really are.
Yeah,
right?
no,
Because
definitely.
when there was TV, people would yell at the fucking TV.
yeah.
Like in the radio.
What do you mean? Yell at the TV,
You mean like you remember sports radio, right? Like people would listen to the games.
dude. My
on radio,
dad,
they'd scream
my
at it,
dad
too.
still screams at the radio.
And now
If
you have
UAB or Alabama's playing and something bad happens, he'll yell. Like,
So-
Dad, you can't change anything. This
So-
isn't. It's not two way. It's one way.
so it's like this.
It doesn't help.
So now everyone's screaming at social media because you can post and scream
Yeah.
about stuff now.
You can post
And you
whatever
can.
you want.
The
Yeah.
worst is you can screenshot something from 10 years ago
Mm-hmm.
and destroy somebody.
Oh my God, are we going to go into this conversation?
Well-
No, I just wanted to say that.
That's-
It
one
is
piece
the
and-
truth. I mean,
and-
it is.
And coast
You
by
can
that.
though. That's you can. You absolutely can. Even if they pay the price for it and they do what they need to do. I'm not saying anybody specific. I don't want to get all that started, but
Oof. The big oof.
but it is a very real thing, and you can use it against them.
Man, Josh and Drew over here just throwing shades at people that they met.
Look,
But
I'm not perfect. I have plenty of mistakes in my life, but I mean, man, just think. Use your brain.
I just wish they would have never been in certain. So there's a lot to that though. Like if you are a little bit smart about it in the very beginning stages,
just a little bit smart.
just to like not be a dick,
You're asking a lot there.
I know I
pretty
am,
hard.
and that's why I have to tread lightly because that's a topic that would really get going. But Either way, to answer your original question earlier, I'm staying very busy. I thought about
To
that
bring
just a
this
second
all
ago.
the way back around.
I totally didn't even acknowledge your question. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good. I'm good. It's good to see
But-
you doing well. Good to see we're doing well.
Working on stuff though, just staying like working on stuff I want to work on. So that's nice.
Man, what's the funniest interaction you ever had with a client, man? Or is all your projects, just you and like your close friends, basically?
All right. Well, lately I've had a lot of wedding gigs. I mean,
Is this with the acoustic duo?
that is one of them, yes. But I've also, so I have the duet that I'm in. That's Maddie Harper and myself, and we're Out of Exile. That's what we're called. And so we have been getting a few gigs coming in. We're playing a
Sounds
few.
like an '09 metalcore band.
I don't think so.
We have a few breakdowns.
Oh, no.
Drew bust out the drop E
I keep-
8-string acoustic guitar,
I keep a distorted pedal on my acoustic at all times.
a metal zone.
It's a separate internal pickup. It's inside the guitar.
I flick a switch.
Yeah,
and it's time.
It's another input jack. So, so
That goes into my Mesa Boogie
yeah. But
full cab.
so then I also do wedding video, which I don't really do wedding videos. My company does. I offer the service, and then I contract the work out, and I'll go as a second shooter, and I contract out the editing because I don't like doing video. Like hands down, I don't like it. I don't want to do it, and I'm willing to pay for it. So.
Well, I mean, you use Premiere, like probably the worst video editor for Mac.
What do you use then? Are we going here?
I use Final Cut.
Okay,
It's
eat
just
it because
it's easy.
That's exactly right. It's easy, and you can't hardly do shit with it.
I can do plenty. Premiere, I couldn't do anything for it crashing every 10 minutes.
Granted, it's ported from Windows, so.
Oh, man.
But
At least
anyway.
it's not Media Composer.
Oh God.
Shouts out to multimedia.
I downloaded Media Composer first because I was
Wow.
like, you know what? I'll give it a fair shot. I'll
It's
try
the
it.
standard.
It would not even open because Bluetooth was turned on. It crashed on boot. On boot, it crashed. And
Yo,
it
we
said,
went-
I looked at the version from Avid, literally from Avid, and they said, there's a known issue with Media Composer and Bluetooth on a Mac, so you're just going to have to disable your Bluetooth, and then you can open Media Composer. I said, that's a problem because my mouse is Bluetooth, so no.
My Magic Mouse.
Magic Mouse.
That Apple quit making wired mouses. I have to use Bluetooth.
I'm up shit creek here because I can't even try out your product.
I really tried to like Premiere. Like I
like Premiere.
I just hated.
I just don't like video.
I don't mind it. I like Final Cut, the whole magnetic timeline thing. Like once you know what it does,
See,
it's so fast.
I don't like linear. Not like that.
Yeah.
I like non-linear editors if I have to do video stuff. I don't.
Makes sense.
I don't like okay. Here's when I use Final Cut. I use Final Cut when I'm having to throw one of those quick little 10-second things I put on Instagram. That's what I use it for because it's easy. It's the magnetic timeline. I literally throw it in, I trim it up, and you're literally done.
And
that's it.
The coolest thing is you can publish straight to
Yes.
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
You can.
Vimeo.
My problem is when I have
Whoever
to start
uses it.
doing color correction and editing and actually digging in because Final Cut makes it a pain in the ass.
Yo, how do we
I
go
think
from...
I think it's because I've used it so much now that I know I know what it is.
I guess.
In the new version in 10.4.4, actually in 10.4, they totally redid the whole color
Really?
correction. And
I need
really
to try it.
the best program for color correction that I've used is like those Black Magic. You know what I'm talking about? Resolve. It's
I don't
like
think so.
it's by a company called Black Magic that makes like capture cards and just all this crazy video stuff. I don't know if it's DaVinci or something like that, but there's this like really sick color correction software that if you were doing it for reals, that's what you would be using. Or Media Composer, but not on a Mac.
So
Yeah.
we went from talking about the worst clients
Yeah,
to
sorry about that.
shitting on video editing programs. So let's continue where you stopped off, Drew.
Hon-
Because I know nothing about video editing.
Honestly, okay, so I recently had this was cringy as all freaking get out. I played a
Please.
gig. Played a gig.
Intel. Tell
We
me.
did like okay. The person that asked us, we did it last year, and I kind of want to be hesitant on how I talk about this because like it's, cool people and whatever, but screaming children everywhere, and we had to sing Christmas carols out in the parking lot.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. She goes, yeah, do you mind just like literally taking your whole setup outside and just doing some playing out there? I said, actually, I do mind because there's a lot of equipment and I'm going to be moving it out there just to move it right back in. So no. So she goes, okay. So she goes,
Did you just straight up say no?
I was like, you know, I'd really like to for you, but it's going to be too much work for not enough. Like I told her, I said, it's just for what you're after. Like, it's not going to be worth the move time because it's going to take longer. It's going to, I mean, exponentially longer to set up and tear down. That we did 2 Christmas carols. 2.
You played 2 songs?
Didn't even
it?
play.
Oh,
we sang Christmas carols and nobody sang with us. So we're like standing in a parking lot and
Man,
we're just singing Christmas carols.
That
and there was a
hurts.
Facebook Live.
Oh man,
That hurts my heart, but I definitely want to find that video and make it into a meme.
I'll show you later. Don't worry. I've yet to look it up because I know I will cringe and
Just watch Drew melt into the couch like
Man,
those
you had
old.
a-
I'm
like,
already not a Christmas person.
rise above commercials that talked about not smoking weed. You
Yeah.
know those like, and they
Yeah.
and they flatten out into the seat. That's Drew
Yeah.
when he watches that video.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I'm already not the biggest Christmas person because people drive me nuts around this time.
yeah, that's hilarious. You had to sugarcoat it because it's a wedding gig. You can't. It's not like you're working with a rapper or like some
That's right.
random dude. You can't just say no. Fuck off.
That's
What do
right.
you think? You had to sugarcoat
You
it. I
do
don't
what the
think-
client wants because they're paying you.
They're paying you.
They're paying you, and
Exactly.
so you just do it. You suck it up, and you go home and you cringe later.
You cringe later.
I
Man-
cry on the way home.
Man,
Or
Josh,
that, you know what? Whatever
That's
gets
what
it
helps
out.
me.
Whatever gets it out.
Man, Josh, I know you got some funny stories. Katwan's told me the amount of times you flipped your shit here. You told me this one time, man, where no, you were just getting mad at kids. So that's just what Katwan was talking about. Me.
Sometimes
It's always children.
it's always it's always kids.
Always
And it's because
children.
they just don't understand. It's not their fault. Cringiest client. So back around MLK Day or like somewhere after that, I had a guy call me. Not uncommon to call the studio and just want to book like an hour or 2. It's whatever. I'll take your money. I mean, it's an hour of my time I'll never get back, but I mean,
But
that's
you're taking money,
$65.
So there you go.
So he comes in with this like semi to what you were saying earlier about, you know, you invite like 4 people and then 30 people show up. So the one guy
team.
brings 6 people with
Yeah,
him.
the whole
So there are
crew.
seven people in this room at one point. He goes in the booth to do his track and he does the most horrendous rap about Martin Luther King Jr. So bad, Katwan was here with me, and then he looked me dead in the eye and said, "I gotta go," and bounced. And so I'm sitting here doing this blasphemous is the only word I can think of track, and he comes out. All of his friends are just hyping him up. And I was like, do you guys not have enough respect for this man to tell him how bad it is?
Martin Luther King's gonna come back and say, you know, all that stuff I did for civil rights. Yeah, forget about it.
You can forget.
Forget about it.
It wasn't like the message he was trying to convey. It was how he was doing it. He would talk about Martin Luther King and then just drop all of these horrible slurs right
should've
after
been-
it.
you
So
should've
it was
been
like,
he's dead. Let him rest. Let the man rest in peace.
I was so baffled that every one of them just let him keep sounding bad.
Yo, they're not
I
his
did
real
what I
friends.
could to, you know, you can only polish
only
a
do so
turd
much.
so much. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so he was super stoked on it. And I showed it to James Bevel later, and he was just like, did you tell him it was bad? And I was like, yeah. He didn't listen to me. I had 6 other people telling him it was the greatest
But what
thing
do
they'd
you
ever
know,
heard.
though?
Right. What do I know?
What do you know?
Man, does James ever like just? I imagine. What's that noise?
That is the
That's a train, yeah.
That's a train.
Yeah,
it
the
just
train.
sounded like some chords, but I wonder if I want to see like James just calmly dismantle his clients.
I've
way,
seen
he
him
says
throw
they're
some
trash.
subtle shade, but really damaging too. Like,
Oh, I bet.
that just cuts, because you know how he is. Like, he's so laid back. When he actually says something, you're just like,
You have to listen. He's not gonna come up and beat the shit out of you. He's just gonna slowly walk up and just cut you across the chest. That's the way James
Right.
is.
it's like the slow poisoning that you just watch happen. I had a kid come in.
Oh, is this the autotune guy?
Yeah.
That Katwan also looked at you, said, "I gotta go."
No,
Josh.
no. I sent him a video. So there's this kid. He came in. He can't be no more than like 17 or 18. You know, whatever. That's a lot of my clientele right now is 18-year-olds.
Right.
Wanting to hit that SoundCloud clout. You
That-
know what I'm saying?
As if they're still even a thing.
You say that, but we could get on SoundCloud right now and see some people moving numbers.
They literally almost shut down. I don't even know how they're still alive.
I don't know
I
either.
know. I
don't-
don't get it.
I don't know where.
How do they make money?
I don't know what
They
they're doing.
just now started showing ads on the site.
That's how I was
within
gonna-
the past 6 months.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is I'm surprised SoundCloud's been around because they haven't been making money.
I told my
don't
brother.
get it.
I told my brother the other day. He was asking about what are you actually doing anymore? And I told him, I said, well, I said you can go listen to some of my stuff. It's on my SoundCloud. He goes, you have a SoundCloud?
Right?
I
Who
said,
uses SoundCloud?
I said, yeah, I do because
on
it's a good place to just keep it if they're even still in business. But as soon as they shut their servers down, you're gonna have to find something else.
yeah.
Or
With-
you could just use Dropbox like a normal fucking human being.
Nah. The Dropbox
that's
doesn't have.
too- that's
Dropbox.
not-
Dropbox doesn't have enough clout. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, labels can't-
Who
labels
the
can't-
fuck goes up to a show and says, "Yo, check out my Dropbox"?
Yo, check out.
I posted the link on my Facebook page. It's also on my MySpace. Come check it out, but friends.
Hey, man, don't knock. There were plenty of bands that got signed off MySpace.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else with that. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say got signed off Dropbox. Like, who the fuck?
No, MySpace.
I just mean for actually keeping your shit there. But no, off MySpace I can believe.
Yeah, MySpace, man.
'Cause
The
MySpace-
MySpace song was you could tell everything about a person by that MySpace playlist. I could
bet.
tell if we were gonna get along or if I was gonna not like you solely on the 3 songs you had.
That's crazy, man. MySpace turned into this sort of weird music hybrid social media. That's interesting.
And then
They did everything they could to stay alive, but they just kept
Facebook
getting
them.
squashed.
They died.
they got Facebook.
Facebook messed
They
them
got
up, man.
sucked.
They got zucked. Tom got zucked.
Hey, at least Tom is my friend still.
I remember that, man. That picture would always crack me up. It was just him grinning, with a marker pointing at a board or something. I don't know what he was doing. He's just sitting there grinning. Just that always cracked me
But
up.
back to the auto-tune kid. So he comes in and does this take. I am in shock and awe. Like I've never been before. It was like that day in theory that girl said
Oh,
B major and B
my
flat
God.
major were relative keys. Except
I tell
instead of
people that
laugh-
story all the time.
Instead of laughing, I can't breathe because I don't know what just happened. So
We'll have to tell you that story.
I pull out auto tune as all good engineers do, and I set that retune speed to 0. And I'm drawing hard lines. I graph it out or whatever. He comes in and listens to it, and he's like, "This is the most incredible thing I've ever heard." And I said, "Thank you."
Thank you.
And we went on about
And we moved on.
But I saw a video that said all these rappers need to be thinking they're engineers because I know they got some files that could ruin your career. And it just
that's
makes me
true.
think about all the raw files I have that I could just leak.
Dude, I've worked so many, when I was up in New York, I worked so many label sessions that sound like absolute fucking shit.
I believe it.
And,
I'm not shocked.
and then it was, who would be the guy fixing it? Not the mixing engineer. No, the recording engineer would be sitting there fixing it for the mixing engineer to go fix it. That's the weird part about that market up there. It's it's not a one-stop shop. In a bigger market, you got your recording guy, your mixing guy, then your mastering guy. Down
Oh,
here, it's
man,
like,
I do
hey,
it. I literally do it all in the same session.
exactly.
I will-
Everything's so
I
much
will-
faster.
I will mix into my mastering bus just because I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to record it, edit the vocals, tune the vocals, take a hour break, come back, mix everything, take another break, and then master it. I have to do it all within the 2-hour session that they book.
So before you,
if they even book 2 hours. I've mixed and mastered songs in 15 minutes. I have learned the life of the channel preset that Pro Tools just put in. Oh man, I was just like save. And when they walk in, it's ready to go.
So-
I have everything routed. They'll walk in, sing it, start rapping into reverbs and delay, and they're like, "This is incredible!" And I'm like, yeah, it be like that.
It do.
It
really do.
It do.
That. So let me tell you the funniest clients I ever had, right? But they're funny, but it was also the easiest $180 I ever made. So
Those are the best.
so this rapper, it's always a rapper. Let's just
It
say
always
it's a rapper.
starts with this rapper.
It's a rapper. He brings in his
This
girlfriend, right? And the two start arguing.
Oh,
and then
no.
his and then
I
his
can already-
and then
I already
his,
know.
and then his side bitch comes in, right?
Oh
So it's 3 straight hours of them arguing, and I'm just sitting. I didn't even press record. It's just them. Me sitting there. They kept walking in out of the room after having massive breakdowns. And I was just sitting there, just quietly waiting to hit record.
Oh man.
I'll be honest. I'm glad I don't have to work with the rapping market.
Man,
I don't work.
I've trimmed a lot of the fat down ever since.
Yeah.
Ever since I got down, like all you have to do is raise your prices, and then
Yeah,
you watch
you-
the
Oh, I
trends
believe
go
it.
away.
Once you cross the like $50 threshold an hour,
Yeah, that's true.
actually really after you cross like the $35 an hour threshold, you start getting less and less. Like we used to get undercut a lot by like bedroom producers basically because
Oh,
they
yeah.
would charge like I would go on their like Facebook page or website and it'd be like for 2 hours it would only cost somebody like $80.
I thought you were gonna say like $50 mixes. I'm like, holy shit.
No, I charge. If you leave it with me, I'll usually do it by the hour. But it doesn't take me that long to do rap songs.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I have to edit drums, mix drums, edit bass and guitars, then mix said bass and
Right.
guitars, and then edit all the vocals and tune all the vocals to
Well,
just then mix vocals.
And as if it's all digital anyway, you're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
you're done.
I get a 2-track.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky, I might get a semi-tracked out beat, but 90% of the time, I'm going on YouTube and I'm ripping off a track with a video converter to an MP3, and I'm gonna dip out some 4K.
Yep.
I'm gonna hit it with a 4-way transient designer to make the kick drum hit harder, and then I'll track all the vocals, which it depends on the style. If it's just like a freestyle, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
On
don't-
like a minute and a half. That's
yeah,
one
no.
track. That's one take of vocals. And that's a slap on some compression, send it to a reverb, hit it with the old limiter, and call it a day.
God, I used to have those clients where I just wouldn't give a shit, and I would just slam the vocal with the compressor, and then just send it to them. They like it. I know that sounds really scummy, but that was like when I first started, when like they weren't paying me shit for mixes. I'd be like, okay, just slam a compressor on the vocal. They're
Right
happy with
now, my main deal is the U87 going into the 737 Avalon
that.
and doing most of my EQ moves there in my main compression and printing it, and then I'll hit it with a compressor. I'll hit the vocal, like the actual vocal channel, with another compressor on a pretty light ratio, like a 2-to-1, with a really fast attack and a really fast release. You know, just basically to be a limiter without being a limiter. So it'll just shave off some peaks and stuff, and then I'll send it to a vocal bus where I'll do like our compressor waves that for rap vocals. I don't know why it sounds the best into like another high pass, and then the Phoenix by Crane Song.
You know what I do on my vocal bus? I use a Fairchild, and I set both sides differently. I kind of do that because
I have the fake Fairchild.
It's basically a stereo. You know what it is. It's a stereo
Yeah.
compressor.
Yeah.
But I use it as a way of tricking the ear because once the ear hears something once, it's gonna sound like that. So I just
yeah,
basically
your mind feels that's
Mhm.
that's some weird.
I just do
That's
compression.
some weird stuff.
I basically just do compression different on the left and right. So it just sort of manipulates that sound that there's depth or he's in a space.
I do
As weird as
that,
that
but I
sounds.
send the vocal to a widener and then manipulate the widener with
Ooh.
a compressor that's set up kind of if I'm feeling going that far, you know. There are some days where it's just like
There's some days you don't give a shit.
and right now I've actually been favoring the only Waves plugin that I still use regularly, the API bus compressor. I'll put that on my mix bus, and again, I just want the beat to hit harder, so I'll set that more so for the beat to hit, and then I'll master it. In mastering, I'll use SSL, the actual SSL plugin bus compressor made by SSL. The new Slate EQ, that Air EQ that he just came out with,
Right.
the standalone, that thing is so sick. Like if you were to get any Slate plugin, it's that one.
Slate's pretty good. Slate's like set to me. It used to be known as like that happy medium between Waves and UAD, but I think Slate's like another alternative. To be honest, because
I've not gotten to do a lot of their stuff. I use a lot of Universal Audio stuff.
I do too. Yeah,
I love UAD. Ooh,
I want to, but the problem is I don't have a UAD interface at home.
see,
And that's not registered. I could buy plugins for that one, but
Yes.
I can't
you can't take them with you.
and that's a problem because I have to check mixes at the apartment
Right.
to see how
Yep.
they sound on the HS5s because that's such a small cone. Like if it sounds good on those,
See,
I'm fine.
that's where a lot of the big thing is with that too, is because you have to be basically all in on UAD if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And so I have, luckily, and so that's
2 Apollo 8s and a twin.
8
yeah, I
Ps.
saw that.
Whatever.
Eat me. Yeah, right. I know.
You know what everybody knows what they are, and you got that free satellite for that DSP.
I did, man. I
You
got
a free fucking satellite.
So listen to this. So they did a promo on an 8P. And
yeah. I know.
oh yeah, you know. They did the promo. I got the Octo satellite with it for free. So
Did you get the 8P with like the maxed out DSP?
It's a quad.
Okay.
Well, it is maxed out on those, yeah, but
Not that iteration of that.
yeah, no, but they're both quads, and then I've got an Octo thing.
So you're
Satellite.
cool on like
I'm
using
fine.
UAD stuff on the way in.
I'm a UAD like guy. I love their stuff.
James got a deal. They sent him an email or something saying like he could get the rest of the UAD plugins he didn't own for like $1,000.
Yeah,
And I was like, man,
they do promos all the time.
well, it's because their stuff is so expensive.
It
They'll
is.
fish you in with coupons too. James always used to
Well,
tell me that.
Yeah. If
they'll just throw you like a $50
Once
Yes.
you start buying enough of them, they'll start.
Well, I think what they do is they mark it up so they can mark it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So they're,
true.
I mean, regardless, we know they're making profit, but like,
Oh yeah. They're making
price
mad
it,
money.
They price it so high that they can say 60% off, and you're gonna do it because you're like, oh, fuck
It's
yeah,
like-
man, 60% off.
it's such a mind.
Yeah.
It's such a mind game, but you know that they know. That,
Yes, you know that they know that,
that you know that they know that
they
you're
know.
gonna get it.
Yeah.
I don't use the UAD stuff enough to be like mega comfortable with it. Like I've
yeah.
used a couple of their things. Like all the 1176 stuff is incredible. The LA2As are incredible.
Their
the API
emulations. I have the channel strip.
The best.
It's amazing.
It's the best API. Even better than like the RTS ones. I can't remember the company that makes those, but I saw some dude use them. But it's just hard to like carry all that stuff around.
It's so good.
Not that it's
Well,
not incredible. Like, for sure.
I worked very hard to try and get all my stuff in that one rack. I've got a 5U rack that I bought, and that was a
Is
company.
it a Gator? Is
No,
it a Gator rack?
no. I hate Gator. I mean, like, look,
Good.
Gator's fine, like for what it is.
It's not.
I don't.
It's not.
I don't prefer it.
It's bad. When I was on tour,
Yeah.
that stuff would break. Oh man,
It's
Are you
really
talking about-
flimsy.
It
It's
couldn't
really
handle
flimsy.
like one truck ride.
It's
Are you-
not meant for
Are you
travel.
talking about the hard case?
Yeah,
Yes,
it was
that-
not good.
Because I got the soft case, and that's not gonna fucking shatter. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think.
like if you're like just doing it for low key stuff,
Right.
that's fine.
That's
I'm
what I
talking
do.
The hard
about
case
like
is
it
not
being
meant
on
for
an
travel.
18 on an
Oh,
18
okay.
wheeler going down the interstate
No,
at like
Yeah,
80
that
miles
shit's
an
gonna
hour
shatter.
every night.
I bought a mental case though. It's a company out of Nashville. When I went to Summer NAMM, I saw their stand and I fell in love with their stuff. And they're really decently priced actually. Like I got a 5U rack for like $200.
What?
Yeah.
That is
And it's
nifty.
like
nice.
well built. It's heavy duty, and I stick it in a Pelican. So that
I go
fits-
one step further.
I go one step further and
This
put
is
that,
my next evolution.
put that shit in a Pelican. No, but yeah. So a lot of my stuff has been live lately. A lot for my gigs, like shows and stuff for mixing. A lot of live shows lately.
Sam's been doing a lot of live stuff too.
Yes, he's
All
helping
right.
me out, and I'm helping him out.
Tried.
We're kind of doing a duo thing here
That's good.
with
yeah.
So Far.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, it's great.
I like the live. I just like both things. And they're like, your studio stuff and your live stuff.
Yes.
I like the live stuff just because of how brutal it is.
Yes.
And just how, it's pretty hardcore, right? It's not like you're.
Oh man,
You're
don't
not
you don't
sitting
even
around-
know
It's-
hardcore until
here-
you're on
because-
tour.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
dude.
Oh,
It's crazy, dude.
Well, here,
oof.
what's funny about you're saying? So you're asking about crappy clients and stuff, like
Right.
requests and whatever. Not necessarily like they're crappy, but. So I love like a lot of the live shows and stuff, it's so low budget that it's not even funny. But a lot of it's DIY stuff.
Right.
So
DIY Birmingham, baby.
DIY Birmingham, man. That's literally
The
that's the
forge.
thing. So it's so low budget that you don't bring a lot of equipment, and so you've got your little 6-channel mixer, and you've got no monitors because you're not going to bring it if you're only getting paid nothing or even like $20 if that.
I'll pay you
And
for
at
exposure.
at that point, do you even need monitors?
No.
No.
Because
You're
you're
not
using-
that budget is that stage is
'Cause
not
I can tell you
that's
right
not
now.
a stage.
Yo, let me
That's
before
the
you
floor.
yo Drew, before you go on that rant, I had some shitty church call me up and say, "Hey, I need you to record my entire fucking choir for free." I'm like, "Okay,
I
what do
need you to.
I was saying like, "Excuse me," and they wanted me to basically rent out $1,000 worth of equipment. I was like, this has got to be a scam. Somebody's got to be fucking joking around. I looked this church up. It's actually a real place. I'm like, oh my fucking God. I never talked.
I'm sure that's what you told them.
I just ghosted them. I was like, I don't know what to say.
Oh, man.
How do you respond to someone that fucking stupid? That's what I'm saying. I don't
Yeah.
know. But anyways, go on.
I mean,
I know what you do,
I would
Josh.
say no. I would just say no.
Yeah,
Like,
just-
at that point, it's not even worth like
Look, if you're not willing to pay,
soliciting the
it's-
call.
Yeah.
I just say no. I'm good.
You're paying more for the unlimited minutes you're paying for through the carrier.
Yeah, that's right. You're wasting my phone.
Long distance, too expensive.
bro.
Anyways, go on, Drew.
It's just, like the live show stuff. Like at that point, if it's the DIY stuff, I can guarantee you've got a vocal mic and maybe a kick mic. And if you're
even
really
using-
going
if you're using
somewhere,
a drum set
Yeah.
at that point.
and if you're really going somewhere, you'll have another vocal mic. And that's for the backup guy. And if they don't use the same one, but like sometimes, you take the DI from the bass, like that's a standard thing. But even then, usually
Why?
the guys have a good bass amp. There's this one guy I've been seeing around a bunch that has got a great bass amp, and I love.
What's his name?
He is the bass player for Bobby Rock and Roll, and they're so good. They're
Never heard
so
of them.
good.
I'll just.
Never heard
I'm
of
gonna
him.
leave that there.
You don't like it?
It just sounds like a meme.
Oh no. You gotta check these guys out.
Is it like yacht rock or something?
No,
it
no, no.
sounds like a yacht rock band.
Look, they're like. Do you listen to like Lady Legs at all?
No.
Okay, so that's like the local scene. Like they're
Yes,
kind
but
of
I
like
do listen to ladies with legs. Yes.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
good.
That's
so
fucking terrible.
so Lady Legs is one of the like more well known in the Birmingham scene right now. And
Are they like on the same level as like Burning Peppermints?
Yeah.
You know who they? Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they're like
yeah.
That level of
Yes.
local band
Same style, but
on
these
the
guys.
cusp of actually becoming a band.
Yes, they're like they're like there. They just have a little bit more to go. So Lady Legs and I feel like Bobby Rock and Roll is pretty much in that kind of they're like there with that too. But they've played on a few shows together, and Bobby Rock and Roll has been playing on a bunch of shows lately, and I've been running sound for them. But they don't require much. It's a trio. They've got singer and he plays guitar, bass player, drummer, and they're freaking killing it. And you use a vocal mic, and you use maybe, depending on the venue, a kick mic, and that's it.
Oh,
That's
what?
all you need.
I guess me and Josh were talking about like the hardcore, like the touring groups that come in, like your big shows at Alice, where half of your work is actually building a fucking stage before you even touch the board.
Man,
Well, what
those-
cracks me up
those
is
are
when
so
you-
rough.
What cracks me
Yeah,
up is what I was going to say is when you do the DIY stuff, people always ask for reverb. It kills me. They're like, hey, could you put some
Josh, you were on that gig.
could you put some reverb on my voice? I'm like, actually,
Oh
I
yes.
remember this. It was
So,
at the bicentennial.
We were running a bicentennial event, and Jennifer Holiday asked for reverb in her monitors. I mean, that's
nothing
not an
wrong with that.
uncommon.
yeah, right.
But what cracked me up is the
The
monitor,
monitor
guy.
guy couldn't do it. Didn't know how to
No,
use.
he didn't say he couldn't do it. He said no.
Oh, he
No.
said no.
He
I
just
thought he
did
said
not.
He couldn't
No, he
do
didn't
It.
say he couldn't do it.
So
He just
James
said no.
runs down from front of house. No, well, does the James Bevel walk like when he's frustrated?
With his
Walks down, 2 monitors, does it, and walks back up. And then later on, she goes, "Can I get some more tail on this reverb?" I was like, "Why does it matter?" I got at when I was running the sound for the rehearsal for the Mercedes gig. Robin Thicke asked me for reverb in the monitors, and then after we had finished rehearsal, Robin Thicke's sound guy was like, "Can you cut some 3 and 8K out of those monitors?" And I was like,
yo, why are you so
"Dude,
particular?
we're done."
Sure, pal.
Sure, pal.
He
I got
asked
you.
James to do so many things, and James said, "Yep," and didn't do it. But at that point, we had gotten the word to like, don't solicitate any like more comments, because like at that point the show was done and the show was happening at this moment. And like when you do those shows, it's not your show. You're a guest on that show, so you gotta know, no matter how prolific you think you might be or that you might be, you're doing those shows as like a you know,
Yeah.
like as a
Stay in your lane is basically it.
yes,
Yeah.
that is a very like, I'm getting paid good money to come sing like 5 songs or 2 songs, you know, whatever. At the Mercedes gig, what's her name? Leanne Rhymes just flew out for the show.
When was this?
It was in October at the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. She
Oh.
came in same day. She flew in. She rehearsed her songs one time, left, came back, played her set.
Left,
and
ate a
then-
nice steak, did one song.
and she said, "I'm out," and bounced.
Drops mic.
She had
then-
her own mic. She brought her own.
Oh my god.
She brought her own bedazzled handheld. It was sick.
I'm not surprised that it's
Dude.
Yo, wait,
bedazzled.
before she leaves, she was like, she just looks at her phone. All right. Did the money come through? All right. Peace.
Well,
Probably
that's a whole different.
That's a whole different ball game,
But
dude.
talking about live sound and touring, I did DCI, right?
Yeah.
So that, man, like, because that's just a whole different ball game of issues. Because like, we play outside at a different place every night. Actually, we would play in 3 different places every day. So like, I would have to tune the sound system to wherever we were at the time and then retune it in like 5 minutes whilst being on the phone with somebody telling me like what to turn up and turn down, because I wasn't in the audience. I was on the football field
Right.
with the pit. And so like, you would have 5 minutes to set up.
Jesus
And
Christ.
I had 2 speakers on each end of the pit, 2 subs, and then 4 small fill-in speakers to put out, wire into the sound card, make sure everything is turned on, and then I had 10 wireless mics to make sure that we're working. It is the level of
man.
production that DCI is doing is insane. Like, I watched Blue Coats. I met the guy that did Blue Coats sound. You couldn't pay me enough money to go run sound for the Blue Coats. Like, because they had speakers everywhere on the field. People were, he was running in-ear click tracks
Good
for the
Lord.
drum line, for the quad line, for some of the soloists. The entire front ensemble was running on click tracks.
He probably got paid $50 that summer.
That's hilarious.
Don't
Yo,
get me started.
Go back to that Mercedes concert, dude. Like, I saw Katwan just chilling most of the time, dude. He was like posting stories all the time, like, dude. And I gave him. I know he was doing work, but I gave him shit.
Well,
Like,
it was different because
I was like, dude,
they had like,
because you guys weren't building the stage. I know that much. They had the union over there.
That was a union gig. So me, Katwan, and James and the other people from Audio State basically kind of just extra hands, and I was helping James, and Katwan was on the stage, and since it was a union hall, all the union dudes were building like these gnarly video walls and building the stage, and like we didn't have to. It was the first time we'd done a show and didn't have to do like when the show ended, we left. Like we didn't have to put up anything or any, like, it was so sick. And I was like, well, the next show we do, I'm going to take apart this profile.
You're gonna have to tone down your expectations for the next show. But yeah, those riggers, dude. Riggers get paid a ton, dude. I know this one rigger, dude. He said if I become like a high steel rigger, my pay goes up by at least $30.
Yeah, because it's
An hour.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you start out at like 45 an hour,
Mhm.
and you get paid for a minimum of 4 hours,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Because when I would do Alice gigs, if we only worked for an hour, we would get paid for 4.
Right. That's the right. It's basically that's how it is.
It's not for me. I don't like live. I didn't like touring, and maybe it was just I didn't like drum corps touring, because like I would get up with the drum corps and go start working, and then get done at like midnight, barely sleep on the bus ride, and do it again the next day.
I had a friend who was in drum corps with the Cavaliers, I think.
Yeah, cavies.
And he told me the hours they would do, and it was fucking insane, man.
Wake up at 6
It's
a.m.
nuts.
Practice all day. Go do a show.
I always wanted to play for a corps, but I just didn't have a summer to give away. 'Cause you
Or
gotta give
$4,000 to pay to.
$4,000.
Yeah, it's the one sport you pay.
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Crazy.
I mean,
It's basically
during
like
spring training, it was 3 days. You had a morning block. You'd eat. You'd have an afternoon block. You would eat. You'd have an evening block. You'd get a snack and you'd go to bed. And you did that for 4 weeks.
Yep.
It was basically
believe
like almost like basic training, almost as rigorous as basic would be. But like, cause you're building the show, you're learning it, and you're burning like 6,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Those kids were eating chicken every day. You just protein. And I saw a kid lose like 100 pounds over a summer
I believe it.
because you just run.
they're all athletic, man.
Yeah,
It's not like
and-
your regular
and you would-
college march
Oh
band, man. These are like
dude, I had the worst culture shock coming back out, flying to Texas at the end of July. My phone melted. It was so hot. I was in San Antonio, and I sat my phone in the sun, and within a minute, the temperature thing went off, and I was like, oh no. Oh man, we had kids puking everywhere because it was so hot.
I believe
Also,
it.
they were just feeding us garbage. Like,
Yeah.
that's probably part of it. It was like, man, this food's not good.
I'm not happy about it. So
But
I'm
I
gonna
will
throw
say
up.
this: the next day we were in Louisiana, and I would much rather have been in Texas than Louisiana.
Because Louisiana
Which
is
is wet.
humid.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
wet.
it was so wet. You were just like, it was like walking through spider webs. That's the only thing I can equate it to. It's just like, it was like in that scene in Lord of the Rings,
Sheila
Return of the
Blair.
King. Yeah. Front, I was like, it's everywhere.
You guys, man, did you guys ever have I know this random, it's off subject. You guys ever? What was the best client you had, or the best guy you ever worked with, or your favorite, or your most memorable? It doesn't have to be like up there, but one of your more memorable.
Anytime I get Sledge to come play drums, it's so sick because I don't have to do anything. Like,
bet.
I mic the kid up, and I'll tell, and Sledge will be like, "What's the tempo?" And I'll tell him, and 2 takes, we're done.
Dude, Sledge has he's a beast now.
He is
dude.
a monster
Like,
now.
look, I know he's always been good, but when I first heard him, right, I was like, wow, he's really good.
Dude,
but then,
he's
but
on
I don't.
another level.
But
now.
then I did. Then like it'd be like a break or something, like a winter break or summer break, and then I'd listen to him again. I'm like, he's getting better exponentially fast, and then, and then it'd be well how he plays from freshman year to now how he plays in basically nowadays.
Little Rain Band.
Yes, it's not
Yeah.
it's not an improvement of over 4 years. He's basically improved 20 years in the span of 4 years. It's ridiculous. He's getting there, man, in my opinion.
Dude, it's awesome solely because I don't have to edit. Like, it's just pocket all day. Even when he like goes gospel chops, like, it's pocket all day. And it's nice because he knows how to play when the kit's mic'd up.
Mhm.
It's a different mentality to play any instrument when it's mic'd. There's just something like you got to shift how you think about it. Like, especially when I go from like engineering to playing, like, I know like upstairs, I know how I need to play, and it's just like translating in my hands. Cause like, it'll take me a couple of takes to kind of get in the zone of playing. Cause like you think, because monitoring really messes with people.
Mhm.
Like, there are some people like, man, they want it cranked in their ears, and I will not let you monitor that loud because I already know what's going to happen. You're going to think you're singing everything loud. You're going to be like,
Yeah.
some ASMR stuff, you know what I'm saying?
It takes time. Like the
And-
real pros know.
Yeah, well, we in Birmingham, we ain't dealing with no real pros.
You're right. My bad.
But like people like Sledge, any like gospel any musician that's based in gospel, like Kitwan's always fun to record, just because he's funny. But he's really good, and he knows, like, if Kitwan's playing a part for me, he knows what I'll want, whether I know what I want or not, and he'll just lay it down. Like, there are just some people who know how to record, and it's just there's no work. It's just fun and it's easy. Those are the sessions I like, and I've had quite a few of those, more so recently now that, like, my name's been associated with better acts. I started saying no to, like,
Yeah, you're
people
people.
I know that are just, it's just going to be difficult no matter what. And I mean, I'll still do them occasionally, but I definitely have started learning the value of saying no. Like,
That's the best part, man, because I've recently run into that too, where, you know, before summer, I got to a point where I could just start saying no to some clients because I know they're not gonna be worth it. They're gonna be too much trouble. Their music's trash, basically.
dude, big facts.
As cold as that sounds, like I don't have that right to say no, but I'm gonna go more on that in a minute. But I'm gonna talk about this one session I did while I was in New York. Right? It wasn't like any grand, you know, label session like a Sony with your big rappers like a Lil Wayne or Ski Mask Slump God, but it was one cool guy. His name is Abraham Murray. He was the lead actor in Amadeus, the Mozart movie, and he was an actor in Scarface, where he was one of the guys that got thrown out of the helicopter. I didn't recognize him at first, right? Because he came in dressed like a homeless guy from Philly. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but and then I knew he was a voiceover act, right? So he's a real pro. Sounds great. He was doing like 10 30-second sets for a bunch of orchestras overseas or something. Dang. It was a cool little 4-hour sit-in. He was funny. He was cool. And then out of nowhere, he says, "Oh, I gotta fly out. I got invited to the royal wedding." I'm like, dude, who the fuck are you? I would have never known that was Abraham Murray until one of the other engineers walked in and said, "Do you know who you were in the room with?" I'm like, "No." He said, "You were in the room with Abraham Murray," and that to me was a really special session, just mainly because he's older, but he's at that point where, you know, he knows what he is. He doesn't have to show it off or anything. He was very polite. He had manners. Just a very, you know, funny, wholesome guy to be around, dude. And to me, that was a very special session to me. That was more special than you could put the biggest rock star, biggest rap artist in the room, and I don't think anything would have compared to, you know, Abraham Murray, just because of how, I don't know, how it was a great session. I don't know how else to explain it.
A lot of the kids I teach they always ask, like, who's the biggest artist you work with? And I was like, it doesn't really matter who you work with. My paycheck is still the same.
Yeah.
Like,
do you tell them that?
No.
Straight up?
Sometimes I was like, it matters who you work with to an extent, but really what matters is how many times have you worked with them? Mm-hmm. Like, nobody understands, yeah, I could have done this massive record, but what have I done since the one big record I've done?
There's some people who get really hung up on that. They cling on to that one achievement they done, and they don't get anywhere. And they just become old and bitter.
You just got to, like, head down, move forward. Like, cool, that record, that song, you know, I've done a song or two that's got, like, one song I did has, like, 900,000 views on YouTube. Yo, whatever. I've got a couple more that have, like, 100K plus.
Well, that's because, you know, humans are very, you know, while some people are very numbers oriented, I think a lot of people are also very goal oriented, right? Because it doesn't, you know, once you achieve what you want to achieve or you hit a milestone, you got to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Or it's going to drive you nuts. Or you're going to go crazy because you're going to start thinking, well, why can't I hit these? Why can't I get to where I used to be anymore? Or some people, going back to what you were talking about, social media, how some people pay attention. Some people just pay attention too much to the numbers, the statistics.
The clout.
That's right.
I think a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, you had that one big success, but, like, that can't always pay your bills. Like, I know a lot of producers that I follow, the ones who make it are always working on something, whether it's label oriented or local band.
Now that you say that, I'm gonna tell you about this one kid. I don't know if you heard of him, Water Whipping Evan. He did a video for YBN, right? But here's what I respect about him so much. He was 15 when he did that video, right? He didn't stop there. He kept on going and going and going. If you see his page or you see his story, right? I creep on his story sometimes. He's always working on a video. And that's what, and I think to me that's amazing because you don't get complacent. He kept on going and going and going.
Was this before YBN blew up or while he was blowing up?
He's been doing video for a while. He did a couple videos before the YBN video, YBN Namir. And then once his video blew up, he obviously got, bigger clients and started working with people who could pay more. But the thing I like about him is he always keeps working. It doesn't have to be a big act. He just keeps working. That's it. And I think that's just the way you got to go about life in this kind of field in general.
Yeah, and that was the point I was getting to. There's a guy, his name's Billy Decker. He's a big-time country music mixer. Like, he's sold 25 million records that on songs he's mixed. Like, that's how many records he's been a part of, or sales, however that works. He's had 15 number one hits. He was either the first or second dude to have a number one single in country music that was mixed totally in the box, like no outboard gear whatsoever. And he still will do like demos. Like he'll mix demos for people, and he does a lot of like template mixing. Like he makes a copy of the session, then just imports all of his stuff. And that's kind of his big thing is he can mix a full song in like 2 hours, and it's like radio level country music stuff. But he to go into that thing you want to talk about like online education stuff. He did a thing called Nail the Mix, which is Joey Sturgis, Joel Wanasek, A.L. Levy's online mixing school. They get people who mixed actual songs by actual bands who are assigned to labels. Like they've done Chunk, No Captain Chunk. They did Meshuggah. They'd had Lamb of God, Redneck.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Lamb of God. Like, let me say that one more time. Lamb of God. Like, they had the Fathers of Gent, Meshuggah, and then probably one of the biggest metal bands that anybody would know, Lamb of God. You got to see like breakdowns of those tracks. You got access to the multi-track stems. So like, I could look at Redneck. I could download it right now and show you guys, but because I technically shouldn't show you because you don't pay for it, and legal fee.
Oh yeah, right.
But like, and then they get the guy that mixed the song on the record to mix it on a live stream. So like right now, I'm watching Chris Cummett mix "Young Robot" by Dance Gavin Dance. So he tracked the song too. So you're getting all the tidbits about him tracking one of the best technical prog bands that is Dance Gavin Dance. Like, he goes through his mixing process. But back to when Billy Decker did his, in usually like an 8-hour live stream, they'll mix like one song. He did 6. He mixed 6 songs from start to finish in like 8 hours.
What a monster.
But it all goes back to that template. Like, he uses the same template. Because he brought up a really good point. A kick drum is a kick drum. A snare drum is a snare drum. Sonically speaking, it takes up the same frequencies. Characteristics and timbre will change drum to drum, but it's basically the same thing. And in Nashville, most of the people use the same musicians.
Yep.
The studios just know who to call.
When I was going back and forth and I was up there all the time, I saw the same drummer and I saw the same bass player all the time.
What was the drummer's name?
I forget now.
Is it Miles?
No, it was...
I was hoping it was Miles McPherson.
No.
He's a big Nashville dude.
No, there's like this... there's a group, though, where it's all the session players, and they basically just do a round robin of whoever wants what, and then you just take them.
You just show up.
You just show up. But the studio I was at was... one of the ones they would pull from the pool a lot. And they always got the same, I can't remember his name now, but this one bass player I saw more than the drummer, but he was good, man. He freaking nailed everything. He was one of those guys, you'd show up, you play the gig, you go home.
Well, that's the difference between a studio musician and just like, a orchestra musician.
Yeah.
Studio musicians are just a whole nother level.
Their brain works differently than every single person on this planet.
Yeah, but within the studio musician, there are definitely like subfields. There are the dudes who are like gonna play the song to the T, and then there are the dudes that are gonna play to the song. And what he was talking about was like, you always want the guy that's gonna play to the song, like just he's gonna play the part that's gonna serve the song the best. But like he mixed Rodney Atkins' song that went number 1. He mixed another song that had been number 1. I think he mixed like 3 songs that day that had been number 1 on Billboard Top 100 country music. But he was but like to close it out full circle, he'll mix whether it's a demo, a major label gig, whatever. Like he'll cater to you. Like he won't say, he'll get you to say like, what are you able to spend? And they get the same treatment that
a label guy gets.
If Rascal Flatts were to walk in, somebody of that caliber, or whoever other major country artist
insert huge country name here.
Yeah, Garth Brooks, the second most selling artist in the world.
That was the one thing that one of my mentors while I was in New York taught me. He said, you treat every client with respect. It doesn't matter if Lil Wayne is in the room or Little Timmy is in the room from Queens.
Right.
You treat them exactly the same, and that's how
you get repeat.
And that's how you get respect. And I think
that's why I sang Christmas carols in a parking lot.
Yeah. And I think in order to do that, right? I think in order to be at a point where you just love your craft so much, and it doesn't matter what they're paying, it doesn't matter who they came from or what level they're at. I think it just comes with you have to have a certain love for your field. And let me sort of get into a segue of why I'm only doing this, as a part-time gig now instead of a full-time. Because when I started, clocking in hardcore hours, ridiculous hours and time into it, I got better. Yeah, I did. But I don't think my mixes sounded much better because I started to fall out of it a little bit. I started to fall out of love with this a little bit. Maybe because I was getting burnt out, or maybe I'm at a point right now where I realize I don't want to really do this. I'm not sure yet, but I've been only doing this. I went from full-time to only just doing this part-time now because I love this gig. I love the money. I love the people you meet in it. I love, the ridiculous stories you can have, but I want to keep that love there, because if I hate it, then everything I do is going to sound like shit, and I'm going to just disservice my client.
Yeah.
For
sure.
So what are you doing now anyway? You asked, but I didn't ask you,
So besides doing, the whole, I'm on a call list for like live gigs and like doing random mixes here and there for people out of New York. I'm just in school for computer science, and I'm also
you went back to school then,
right?
Sweet.
And I'm also helping around with some real estate stuff.
The real estate game is where it's at.
So
I would kill myself.
It's funny because what I do a lot of actually is I do some business side of it. I do like the contract stuff, the legal side of it, but I also do a lot of like loan sharking where I'll get a call from somebody, right? Where I'll get a call from somebody say, "Hey, this guy didn't pay. I need you to show up and collect this money." I'm polite about it, right? But there's been some times where I just said no, where I walked out, said you can call someone else to call one of your other, somebody else's family.
Because somebody who will actually get in a fight.
Right, because when I show up, I'm polite. Like most of the places I go to, they're not dangerous places. They're like normal neighborhoods. But he said like
they just didn't pay.
They just didn't pay, and they need someone. Normally when someone sends me out, it's not like hey, go beat the fuck out of this person. He didn't pay. It's kind of like hey,
nudge. Hey, you need to pay, or something bad's gonna happen.
No, it's not even that. It's like hey, just I know she said she was having a hard time this week, so just go over there and see what's up. It's mainly that.
It's the respectful checkup on your clientele.
It's the nice version of please.
It's the AC kicking on or the heat or whatever.
You have to deal with that.
Yeah, this building's old as dirt, dude.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
does that bleed into the like?
No.
Oh Jesus!
It's basically what I do is like the nice version of please pay up or you're gonna get evicted and fucked up kind of deal.
Oof. The big oof.
The big oof. Yeah, the big oof. So
Unactivated his trap
Well, cool,
card.
man.
yeah, that's
The
what I've been
big
doing.
oof.
So what I've basically been doing is I'm just building up different streams of revenue.
Yeah.
Right? I got
Yeah,
I got
totally.
my live, random call gigs. I got my mixing gigs. I got, sort of the real estate thing I'm being a part of.
I relate.
Right. I got an Airbnb rental. I do.
Nice.
So,
What?
and I'm going back to school to get a normal job so I can dump more money into this, what I enjoy.
That's exactly what I do.
I,
That's why I have the day job, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like what I do, don't get me wrong. But it's literally so I can, like, put more money into the gear and actually, like, be able to support what I love.
I think that's what more people, well, I don't know if our generation realized that first, but I think the new generation, like, the younger people coming to college, they're going to realize that.
Yeah.
If they really want to do what they love to do,
It's going to take a while.
It's going to take a long time of skill, developing your skill,
Diversification.
diversifying your income, making
Yes.
money, and staying alive.
That's-
right?
I know a lot
That's-
of people like rip on Ty Lopez. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Here in my
garage. I just got a new Lamborghini.
Which was
But, like,
leased.
he speaks some serious truth about diversifying your income. And like, I actually have been doing the opposite of you guys. I've been in this room so much in 2018. I have seen this room more than I have seen the woman I'm about to marry. Like during the summer, no lie, I would come in here at 7 a.m. and I would leave at midnight. I was just here.
I used to be like that, man, and I loved every minute I would do that, man. So I sort of miss it sometimes.
And it would just be like grinding. And you were talking about being burnt out. This was about the time I was wanting to leave. And then I finally had a conversation with James and conversation with myself, really like, I can grind all I want, but if it's not productive.
Well, there's a big
Yeah.
thing with that. There's something so like actually having downtime produces better uptime.
Yes.
You have to have downtime.
Yes. And that was the
I'm
thing
learning that because I'm not good at that. I'm trying
Amen,
to,
brother.
I'll tell you this. So having somebody else, like a significant other, helps out with that significantly.
Oh, man, Stacey.
Because
Get so mad that I would just be here all
Yes.
day and all night.
because they're like, look, attention, just give me some attention, and you're like, okay, well, I'll give you some attention, and then what I've noticed is when you come back to it, it's like you're a totally different mindset, and you just fucking nail it.
Yeah,
You're there.
if I will only work when I'm in this room now. I do not
Yes.
do anything at the house.
Yes.
If I'm at home, I'm either laying in bed trying to go to bed, I'm playing Spider-Man on
Yeah.
my PlayStation, or Soma right now. I'm getting scared playing horror games.
When I'm spending time with my girlfriend, I am there.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about anything else, and if I do think of something, if I think of something I don't want to forget, I'll just jot it down.
But I also need to get off my phone.
So what I do when I mix, right, is I set a timer for myself because I have a tendency. Well, it's kind of like you, where you show up at 7 to midnight. I have a tendency, if I don't set a timer, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna work on this mix for an hour. 7 hours later,
Yep.
I think I'm almost done.
And
I'll work on it for another 2.
And speaking of mixes, at one point it's done. Like, you can keep telling yourself,
That's right.
I can do more.
That's right.
It's over. Just print it. Just
Even if
print
it's not perfect, like
just send it.
let it go. Just let it go.
That was a hard lesson I had to learn, because I would drive myself crazy trying.
I gotta get this kick and bass just right.
I gotta
Yeah.
make these vocals
And it's like, you
sit
know what?
with-
At a certain level, you're just like, you know what? It sounds fine. Like, I can hear both. There's at least some attack on one, and it's pretty groovy on the bottom over here. Like, it sounds fine.
It's funny because the mixing perfectionist thing, it's very parallel to how some people live their lives, right?
Yeah.
They sit there, they're scheming, they plan too much to the point where they don't do anything. You
Yeah.
guys kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're such a perfectionist about it. They'll say, "Oh, I see this a lot in people in my family because, a lot of my family, I'm part of a first generation American, so everything's hardcore. They're like, hey, I got to get here, be a doctor, make this cheese, right?
That's
but-
right,
Get
But
that
when-
bread.
Dr. Kwan.
Dr.
But
Juan.
Dr. Juan.
Dr.
but
Juan.
some of them have a lot of regret, and they just once you get older, like one of my cousins is 40. That's how old my family is. Once you get to a point where you have kids and different responsibilities, it begins to get really harder, and that's not because they're being perfectionists about it. It's because that's where they are in life. But hang on, that had nothing to do with the perfection shit. I just ruined that moment. Anyway,
No, you're good.
I
Keep
just
going.
ruined that. I don't even know where I was gonna go with that.
You can edit that out.
We
then.
can just cut
There's
that part out.
gonna be no edits. Just everything
Everything is raw.
everything is
Okay,
raw.
cool.
Let's
Raw.
go on into that.
Man.
So going back to what were you saying? Nail the Mix, right? Mix
Yeah.
with the Masters does the same thing. And one of my favorite engineers on Mix with the Masters is a guy named
Chris
I don't-
Lord Algae.
No Leslie.
LOL, get out.
Leslie. His name is Leslie Braithwaite.
I know who you're talking about.
He's basically maybe because he reminds me of James, right? Because James is the one who taught me a lot about mixing. He's just this really chilled, laid back guy who's extremely knowledgeable, technical, and knows what he needs to do. But talking about Nail the Mix and Mix with the Masters, it makes you start to wonder, hey, where does this kind of stuff, how do you learn this stuff? Because it's obvious that a lot of people, like, school isn't necessary for this. It's very obvious
No.
because I worked with a lot of people from like Chile and Peru. They didn't go to fucking school for this. They just swam over. No, I don't think they swam over. They
Oh,
immigrated
man,
to
no.
this
Quick
country.
swim.
This is taking a dive. So
They so they come to the country, right? And they just literally start working in this studio, and all of a sudden now they're working with the biggest acts in the world. Or
well,
like,
back in the day, you started working at the studio like as an assistant. Like, I know Chris Lord Algae is kind of a meme, but like he started working at a studio at the age of 13, and he's never looked back. His wall of platinum records shows,
Well, I'll tell you too. The
and his
school
wall of
stuff.
compressors.
I used a lot of the school stuff for like talking to people and meeting people. You get a lot
A lot of networking.
a lot of friends out of it.
right,
I.e., this right here.
right. But we're now also. Maybe that was the case for us, but down the road,
Yeah.
the whole social aspect of school, that's starting to go away. People are starting to see through that
Well,
bullshit.
Well,
You're
we
right,
came up. We
and-
came up in a very bad. Like, I remember starting in the 7th grade. Got to go to college. Got to go to college.
Yeah.
We were the generation that got beat with. You got to go to college, or
That's
you're
right.
not gonna get a job. LOL. I have friends who graduated and they don't have a job right now, and
I could name plenty of them.
$50,000 in debt right now.
Or they realized they wanted to do something different after the full degree.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's happened many a times.
Asian people have this problem, and I'm not trying to be funny, but they really do have this problem because a lot of them, they get sent from a country, right? So the parents are spending loads of money for them to have a better life in America, or they're second generation Americans, right? And first generation Asians or immigrants in general, they're just super hardcore. They're like, hey, I didn't swim across the fucking ocean for you to sit here and fuck around like the rest of these people.
Play
Right.
RuneScape.
I need you to make sure that your life is good, that you can provide a good life for your family. So they also get pressured into this school, right? When my problem with school.
It's funny you bring the like, I want you to have a better life than me, because it's definitely not. It's definitely even like the kind of blue collar America workers. I want you to have a better life than I did, son. Because like, I know my parents were definitely like, they wanted me to have a better life than they did growing up.
Well, every parent wants that.
Yeah, but it's
natural.
like, it's very like, it's a common trope to because when I started college, I was a math major. Like, that's what I was good at math. So
It applied to Bird's Nest.
it did in the end. Math wrong. I guess it did work. But like, if I'd have finished with my math and physics degree, like, what would I be doing right now outside of trying to, I guess,
you be in grad school.
yeah,
To
come back-
Hey, yeah, I would
Come back to be a professor to teach the same people.
Well,
for them to be
I wanted
professors.
to do research for the government because that's where the money is.
Yeah, government.
They take
If
you
they go
away and you will never be seen again, and you'll just be running algorithms all day.
I do think about that sometimes, about if I were to do something other than audio or music or like anything AV, like I don't know what I would do.
Really, I I used to feel that way where I wouldn't know what I would do, but I guess now that, I've gotten some dirt under my nails, a few scars, been through a few things.
I wouldn't mind astronomy.
Astronomy.
You gonna be the captain?
Eat me.
Oh, yeah.
I dug the astronomy classes I had to take at UAB.
I like I really enjoyed, even though I dropped that organic, I really enjoyed it. I dropped that organic chemistry because I was working ridiculous hours. I was working ridiculous hours, right? I was working basically 2 full-time jobs with these side hustles, and then I had to go study. I was like, nah, this isn't going to work. Like,
I lost a lot of weight in college, and I did not have it to lose.
I think at one point I was going to go back and get a film degree. I'm just,
really?
Yeah, I'm really into movies and I like editing videos.
I'll pay you then.
Yeah, I'll do it. You don't have to pay me. I'll do it for free. Because use the homie.
The homies. Gotta be
just
gotta be. There's no video, so like everything being recorded is so out of context right now.
That's the beauty of audio podcasting. It's
a good point.
I wanted to do either film or computer science, whatever my mom said I should have done. Because I took like IT and networking in high school. I didn't have to go to college. I actually had a job lined up. I could have worked for the Board of Education.
Well, you fucked up.
I'll tell you it's a bigger market than I would have ever even thought about. So a lot of what my day job is, like I said, was making devices connect over a network. Well, it's all video conferencing and audio conferencing and stuff. And a lot of that you can get certifications that will hold up better in some cases than a degree will, because that's what they actually need for design, implementation, whatever it may be. Well, a lot of the cool stuff with like the law firm I work at, our vendor for my equipment, I always look on their job site because like I like seeing what they've got for position wise, because I would probably in most cases, if I decide to go this route, like full-time, absolute all in kind of thing, I would love to work for them, maybe as like an engineer working on the equipment. Like, I think that'd be awesome. I
like
love
a
that.
software engineer
Or hardware, either. So it's like there's a whole nother world that I had no idea about until I got this job. But like,
there are a lot of whole other worlds that we could have been exposed to that we weren't.
Yes. But it was more like
tangent to come.
Yeah. Well,
I think the good thing is we know about it now better than later, better than the 40-year-old.
And I tell all the kids we teach, you don't need a college degree to be successful. I have dudes I graduated high school with. They went to community college for 3 semesters, spent maybe $1,000, and now they have their welding certificate, and they are making mad money.
Perfect example. They need the certification.
That was it. And now he does what he loves. He loves welding. Yo, man.
He does it.
More power to you. He makes mad dough. He provides for himself, and he can buy what he wants. I have dudes. My cousin is a mechanic. You got to get your car fixed.
Yep.
He went and got a certification, and now he worked for Carl Cannon and was making really good money, being a mechanic. Like, if your car breaks down, I can't fix it. I know nothing about cars, so I am more than happy to pay somebody smarter than I to fix my car.
So let's bring it all the way back to when we were having a discussion about technology starting to become more and more advanced, right? And with access with so much content and information from the internet. So now, just like it's kind of ruined the world of broadcasting and networks, and it's sort of breaching into bandwidth or whatever. When do you think colleges or the whole education system, which it already is in my opinion, but let me finish this question, what do you think more and more people will start realizing that hey, I can get a load of information on the internet, take a certification, and I can be where I need to be? Or they start to realize, hey, if I'm not trying to be a doctor, I don't need to go to school for this. I can try to find my own way.
I think it's happening now in certain fields. There are fields that you need to go to. You need to further your education. Like, obviously. I firmly believe that if you're going
STEM.
to be a teacher, any form of education. You need to go to college
I have a different.
and learn how to communicate to various types of children who learn differently. Like
I have a
watching
different-
Stacy go through UAB's education program.
Yeah.
It definitely now it's more about she has to learn how to communicate to 30 different children however they learn. You know, she had to take a class oh crap. She had
it's
to take a math class where she had to teach the same problem 5 different ways. Like it was crazy. I tell all my students certain degrees you need to go to college. Computer science, you could get away with doing it online now. There are a lot of great online schools to learn how to code.
There's like coding
and-
boot camps.
Yeah. But like more like engineering, you probably need to go get that old bachelor's degree.
So here's where I'm gonna sort of go against you on the education thing, right? Because yeah, I have a real big problem with me personally. I have a big problem of someone trying to teach me a subject. Think of it like this: it's like a motivational speaker, right? They're teaching you how to make money off their business, off of your business, when the only way they've made money is by teaching you how to make ways off your business. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? I value.
There are people who, I know what you're saying. There are people who aren't vested that become teachers as just a way to make money. Like there are, I can only think of a handful of teachers I had that actually loved teaching and I actually learned something from them. Like you gotta know what you're talking about, right?
Obviously.
Yeah. And I feel the same way you do about people who try to teach me but don't know what they're talking about.
But here's my thing, right? I feel there's a big difference between someone who works in the private sector and the public sector, right?
Yeah.
There's very few professors I have respect for that only lived in academia. And, Nick Tyler, for example, I'm not going to diss him because he doesn't have private sector experience. Like, I've known him for, like, the 2 years I've known him. He was fucking working his ass off. And he has a passion for this, dude. So I like him. He didn't, to me, he was there because he really wanted to, not because he was trying to dodge some work. Because this motherfucker, he wasn't dodging work, dude.
You know,
He's not dodging work.
He was
that's
not
what I'm
dodging
saying.
work
The
while he was
people
in
who
school.
care are gonna do a better job. There needs to be a way harder vetting process for you to teach my soon-to-be children.
Well, yeah. Now, a lot of to answer kind of your question a little bit about the progression of school and college and requirements and stuff, I kind of see that bar getting a little bit higher and higher because people are like, everybody is going and they're like, well, we need this. Well, we also need this now too, because it's almost like a bullshit screen. That's all it is. Like, how much can you take? How much can you take? And how far did you go with it? And like, what can you really put up with?
That's a good point. But let me go back to the whole private sector experience, right?
Yeah.
When I was in school for biomedical engineering, I took the engineering classes. Like, I had more respect for those teachers. They might have not been the greatest teachers, but they either still worked in the field or they were retired from the field, and out of the kindness of their heart, they wasted money on a PhD to come back to teach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I respect them a whole lot. For example, that's why I respected people like Tony and James a lot, right? Because I know people said Tony wasn't a great teacher, right? But when I creeped on him at the studio, I learned a lot there. I know it's different for everyone, because I knew in that classroom, like, I wasn't gonna learn fucking shit from him.
He got a raw end of a deal on that whole.
I know he did. He told me about it, and it's a shame because he's such a good guy, and he obviously knows, but he's not
successful. He semi knows what he's doing. The classroom is an intimidating area with, especially. It's different with college kids because we actually can call you out on something if we don't, if we know, like in high school, in middle school and all that, whatever the teacher said was gospel. Like you were at the mercy, but now, like as an adult, you can be like, I don't think that's how that works, Mr. Man or Mrs. Woman.
Mr. Man or Mr. Woman.
Or Mr. Woman.
Or Mr. Woman.
Mrs. Man.
Or Miss Man. That's right.
right.
The education. Yeah, I'm baffled at this moment. I think the internet has made going to college almost obsolete at this point. Like, if you're going to college, you might as well go all the way and get your doctorate. That's about the only time it's worth anything. A bachelor's degree now is equivalent to a high school diploma in my eyes.
Well, it is, and that's part of where what I see as the bar getting raised is.
You have more and more you have more and more people saturating these fields, and it's true. If me and Drew were going up for a job and I had a master's degree and Drew only had a bachelor's, they would throw his resume out.
Yep.
And automatically pick me. Whether he had more experience than I did, I have more schooling. If I have that Josh Ford MS versus Drew Romanowski BS, they're gonna even in academia, Dr. Fambro, when they were looking for the new band director, did not take anybody that did not have a PhD or a DMA or whatever it is you can get in music.
They will literally. That's right. Anything without it, they just.
Yep. You don't even get looked at.
They'll make the computer do it.
Yeah.
They don't even have to look at it.
Right to the trash can.
Do you think a lot of these companies is because they're still run by baby boomers and they haven't retired yet?
Okay,
so they got that really old school view.
So I'm glad you asked that, actually. So there's like when people ask about diversity in government, work environment, whatever it may be, that's a lot of what my response is of saying, look, you just got to give it a little bit more time. So that's a little bit of an off-topic thing, but I think yes, in a certain aspect, like a lot of that plays into a lot of the positions. When you get tenure, they're not going to leave. They're
not a chance.
They're only going to be there till they retire or die.
Whichever comes first.
Same with the government. That's a totally side thing, but it all kind of relates to the same thing. You just got to wait until these people have left, and then you can really start to see this change start to happen.
See a change.
That's exactly right. Because the people that are there, that have been there forever, they don't want to change. They've got a cush job. They've got their job. They get paid.
They're going to do what they do.
They're going to do what they do. And
it doesn't matter.
They're old dogs that don't want to learn new tricks. And so when they're done, that's when you'll see the change, because you'll have those of us that are coming in now saying, oh, well, this could be done way better because we've got this technology now at our disposal. So once this next kind of change goes on, you're going to, I think you're really going to see a lot of this technology that we as us millennials have like basically grown up with. We're going to really start to use it, and it's going to get insane.
Not only that, I think it's people going to look more skills because, like, check it out. We're freelancers, right? We don't work for...
That's exactly right.
Most of us don't work for, like, those Fortune 500 corporations.
That's right. That's right.
So they don't... So when you're looking at a startup company that needs someone to do, like, a web design or something, they don't look at your fucking degree.
That's right.
They look at what you've done.
Those of us that do this kind of stuff, we're like, oh, well, let me just Google something real quick and I can throw something together for you. Like, that's our nature is, let me just look it up for like half an hour and I'll be a fucking pro.
Yeah. I just need to watch one YouTube video and I will at least know what to do.
And I can get started and I'll just tweak it from there.
What you were saying about the old dogs thing is so true. Mm-hmm. There was a professor that Stacy had that said something had happened, and she said, "Go ahead, go tell the dean, I'm still here."
Yeah, right.
They're not. It's never going to change.
It's never going to change.
I won't name, but I mean, there are plenty of professors at the Department of Music who have been there forever, and it's the same deal. Every day.
You'll just see once the turnover happens, this applies for anything.
You won't ever see a change until the next wave of people get in.
And that's why a lot of my problem with I don't have a problem with diversity. I like diversity. I think it's great, and I think you need to have different walks of life. I don't think that needs to be the basis for everything. I think it needs to be experience and it needs to be skill level. But I'm not against, like white, black, Mexican, Asian. I don't give a shit.
But I think that needs to happen naturally.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. And we're almost there. Like, we're literally so close because all these old white guys that lived in segregated times, they're going to die soon. And we're slowly getting there. And all the change that has been going on is great. And that needs to keep happening. We just need a little bit longer, and then we can really get rid of that whole mindset. I'm
more excited for the fact that, diversity, cool, whatever.
Yeah, right.
I don't care about that. I'm more excited for when the market gets to, it starts to become more skill based.
Yes.
It's based off of meritocracy. It doesn't matter if you're a goldfish. Kevin O'Leary said this. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If I could hire a fucking goldfish to do my job or make me money, you're getting fired, and that goldfish is there.
That's right.
And that's
right.
That's something I want to see more. And I think that that's why I like Lights Out so much, right?
Yeah.
It's so brutal. You have to do it right. You have one shot.
You got one shot.
And if you don't do it right, you are never working. That's why I liked working in New York too, with the studios, with the big labels. It was high pressure.
Yes.
I saw so many assistants and interns say, "We're blacklisting you. You're never coming back in the room." And that's probably why I just love that kind of environment.
A lot of people our age can't deal with that.
No, they can't.
They don't know what.
No, they can't.
A
lot of my people that I work around and with, they freak on like when it comes down to crunch time or something like that. That's why. But what you're saying about the live stuff, that's one of the reasons I love working live shows, like because the audience knows when you fucked up.
You're the sound guy.
You're the sound guy.
If nothing's coming out, there's an issue.
If A, nothing is
Something's
coming
wrong.
out, or B, all you have is feedback, they're gonna leave. And
Yeah.
then the band is pissed because then they're not going to have anybody listen to their show, and then the event organizer's pissed because they're not going to be able to sell booze, they're not going to be able to sell food, they're not going to sell any more tickets, they're not going to sell merch. You're screwed at that point. Like it all is around this one thing, and they don't realize it.
It's when you do a good job, nobody says anything. If you do a bad job, you'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Welcome to the STEM field in general.
Yeah, like
That's all it is.
But I mean, a lot of people get really upset when they have to work for something.
Oh, I
Like,
know. I know.
Especially in music, like you're not just handed a record deal or a big label gig. You have like
Unless you're artificially made.
yeah, you have
which
to
case
work
is
like
different.
Yeah.
a lot of bands that I played shows with would get like you see so many artists just die out. Like
Yeah.
you start a music project, there's a 99% chance it'll never take off. And a lot of that is a combination of like not knowing how to handle criticism, not having like the go to do it, and then perfectionism. That's the problem with me.
And
It's like,
also, they're not being patient enough with themselves.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's one thing I've had to learn for myself with even just a little bit of like success, like even just a little bit of like take that I've gotten with like some shows, you know what I mean? I've had to be very patient to just be like, it's just, I got to keep working at it. Somebody will recognize, and then somebody will ask, and then somebody will say, "Hey, I saw you do this. Would you want to help me out real quick?"
That's why you need to love every step of it. Because
That's right.
There's no
That's
no
right.
finish line.
I
in my
remember.
opinion. I didn't mean to cut you off, Josh.
Huh?
Did I cut you off, Josh?
I lost my.
Fuck. I know people I know people are gonna get on to me for cutting off guests.
It's
Do you
cool.
remember? You were talking about it's because when you were playing with bands, they don't.
Look, if you're gonna be in a band, this is how it goes. You write the songs, you play some shows, you tweak said songs. Not you can't just one draft them and then they're done. You have to like, and then let me say this for everybody here: it costs money to record in a studio.
Exactly. And that's why
Don't go to your cousin's basement to record drums. It's gonna sound awful. Like nobody understands. If you want to be a successful band, you are no longer a band. You are a brand. You become a business.
It's a business. That's right. It's a business.
Metallica is a business.
That's right.
Taylor Swift, business.
Dude, Taylor Swift was a fucking genius. Do you know?
She made $220 million on one show
Do you
or
know?
tour.
Do you
Was
know
it
what
a tour?
I think probably a show, dude. Once you get to that tier, it gets ridiculous. But do you
It's-
know what she spent her first big paycheck on? She's like, I'm gonna buy a fleet of 18-wheelers. And you know what she did with that? She went on a tour. So she would send 16 18-wheelers somewhere to the Midwest, 16 to like Madison Square, 16 to the South, and like another some other trucks would be a roamer. So she could basically do like shows back to back to back to back to back, all because she has that fleet of 18-wheelers. And now she owns her own touring. She's basically the touring company.
She just got all of her music back
Yep.
because she's not on that label anymore. She just signed to, and she has.
Really?
Yeah, she's not. She just signed to a new label.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Probably.
And she's about to get some money.
Who's the new one?
I don't know. I don't know all the details. I don't want to talk on it and then sound like an idiot. I just know she's not on her first label that she did a
Big
lot
Machine,
of her.
right?
Yes, she's not with Big Machine anymore. They got bought out, I think.
Wow.
I want to look this up later and post any edits that we need to post, but because this is audio and we can do that.
Because I know a lot of.
And we know what we're doing.
Yeah, we know what we're doing. That's a great joke. But most of the time, man, it's like a lot of. I know Nicki Minaj because she was mad her record only did, I think, 240K, which is great. But for her
not
level,
for her.
level, right? Because that was a chance for her to renegotiate her contract, and because it didn't do as well, she, as a triple A artist on that level is supposed to do.
Yeah, she
she's
wasn't pulling
still-
Cardi B numbers.
Right, she's not able to renegotiate her contract. So I feel like
That sucks.
Yeah.
You gotta, if you want to be an artist, you gotta realize at the get go that you gotta become you have to be profitable.
Universal Music Group.
Oh, she went to you.
She went to. You're kidding me. Yeah. So
I thought at one point she was gonna buy that record label because she totally could have.
she could have.
Taylor
If
Swift?
she had bought that label, she would own all of her music and she would be set.
So. Oh, she signed with Republic Records and Universal Music Group after fulfilling a 6-album deal with Nashville's Big Machine Records. Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense. But no band really and Alabama bands all sound the same. To be honest.
Well, wait a minute.
In the
Depends on where you're.
in the scene that I primarily have dealt with.
Well,
You know what I'm talking about.
yes, and you're right.
It's
in that sense.
There are bands doing really cool
Because
stuff.
I remember going to those shows with you, and you're right. Yes.
It was the same vanilla drop A tuning.
Yeah. It's because they're lazy, and it's a weekend night gig. That's all
Yeah,
it is to them. They don't want to. They don't want to do anything with it.
You have to be innovative, and that's a thing I've been noticing since hip hop and rap's been kind of taking over mainstream. It's because they're doing crazy things. Like
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, in a way, it's like watching. I feel like music, especially in the hip hop realm, I like the music, right? But it's become less about the music, more about the brand, the person. It's like UFC now. Like with the Conor McGregor and Khabib fight, most people didn't care about the fight. They were like, oh shit, these two people hate each other. McGregor's talking shit. Khabib's about to kill McGregor and his friends for dishonoring his Eastern European heritage. Holy shit. It's
McGregor
like
threw a trash can at a bus full of people.
it's the theatrics.
Yeah.
It's
that's
you're
why
invested in the
You're
brand.
right. Oh, you're right. You're
That's
totally
why
right.
all your Lil Pumps and
That's why the
6ix9ines
Beatles are still what they are.
blowing up.
Because people enjoy. It's like the abnormal. It's
I
the
get
absurd.
I get on Lil Pump's Instagram to laugh because I know it's just gonna be absurdity.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
It's great because nowadays you can't just be, and this is going back to, it's sort of the same thing as diversifying your income, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be a one-stop shop anymore. You got to be the whole thing. If you're going to be a rapper, you got to be entertaining, you got to be funny, you got to do some ridiculous shit. You have to be, you have to
basically have to become a meme.
Exactly.
When 6ix9ine basically embodied the memes, he exploded. Like there are some artists who are memes that don't know they're memes. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And there are some who troll knowing that it's gonna people will do just ridiculous stuff to get on trending on Twitter or YouTube.
That's all it is. They want to be on that front
They-
page.
They definitely believe in the no publicity is bad publicity, and
Which is true.
It's so crazy because
Because if you see something and you hear people talking about it, you're like, well, I want to go see it.
I don't know what you're talking about, so let me go look it up.
I don't want to be left out. Let me go see
Exactly.
this.
What?
It's-
You telling me a Skittle is a rapper from New York? I got to check this out.
What do you mean? There's a guy named Tekashi 6ix9ine.
If I will tell you before you go on, if I will tell you, like, I enjoy some of his stuff, right? Because he, in a way, for a long time in the hip hop scene, the Atlanta sound was taking over a lot. I think 6ix9ine sort of helped. I wouldn't say it helped the New York sound, but it helped bring it up in a more public view, because it's that grimy voice. Like he's got, I think he's got one of the most he's got a very grimy voice, aggressive voice, and people are very drawn to that. It's like punk. But anyways, go on with
He's basically a hardcore vocalist that raps. He yells, he's loud, he's aggressive.
He's obnoxious, and people love it.
Yeah, and it's just like Lil Pump. Lil Pump is just in your face memery. Get It had the video, had CGI money tornadoes. Let me say that one more time. CGI money tornadoes. And I think he had wolves in the video.
Why not?
In Gucci Gang, he walked down the hall with a tiger. Like,
why not?
in Get It, he bashed in the window of $100,000 car because he could. He's Lil Pump. That was his whole thing. It was, I could do it, so I did it, and he didn't bat an eye. He makes crazy numbers. His net worth is like $3 million, I think, which for an 18-year-old
in that short of time,
Gucci Gang got so many views so fast
because it was a meme, and people. And that's how. And that call them stupid all you want.
I didn't know what the
smart.
meme was. You know what I did? I went and listened to the song more than one time so I could understand what was going on. If a lot more artists realized that what it took to become successful outside, you have to make good music, and good music is subjective to everybody.
Of course.
What you might find good versus what I find good is different, and that's okay. It's okay to have differing opinions. It makes me so mad because there's so many elitists in music.
I know.
There are.
I hate it.
So many.
I hate it.
Especially in the metal community. Like, it's just, it's like the weirdest form of toxic masculinity.
Dude, it's like, dude,
I know it can be worse than hip hop.
I got so tired. Like, I get where the old school hip hop heads are coming from. Yeah, you gotta respect where you come from. I like old school and I like the new school. I don't get why like a lot of bitter old school people were shitting on the new school, right? Because you have to understand, much like what we were talking about when the old dogs die from the business, times will change. Things will keep on going. Technology will keep changing. Time is the world's greatest enemy. It kills everyone.
You're going to die.
Things will change, whether you like it or not. So I think it's better to embrace the change. You don't have to like the music, but just understand.
Of course
just
not.
understand that.
Understand what's going on.
Understand that people, every generation is different. The message
and it has
is
a
different.
half-life. It will eventually end.
Right.
The meme rap will end at some point. I hope.
Who knows, man? I don't know.
Sampling SpongeBob and Blink-182 will only last for so long. Yeah, that's
who
what
knows, man.
I saw a meme and it boiled it down. Like,
They know their audience, though.
Yeah, and I can't knock them. Metal bands do it. Country artists do it. As soon as you like Fun is a prime example of having one hit song and then milking it for what it was worth. So Fun's first record was this really awesome folk record. The next record, they had that song Some Nights come out, and then the entire album sounded like that one song.
Yeah.
It's the same with metalcore. They'll have this one song, catchy chorus, sick breakdown, riff salad for the verse,
Right.
and the whole 12 songs of the same thing.
That's why I can't listen to a lot of the standard stuff. Because they rehash it. They really do.
And that's why I don't listen to so much music anymore. I deal with it as my primary income. So that's the first problem.
I have to listen to different genres. I would go crazy, man.
Me too.
I won't listen to anything unless it immediately catches me. And if I can't listen to the full record, it's dead to me.
Well, I'll tell you one of the biggest things, like on that topic. So when I'm listening to something, if I can guess what's coming next, I'm already turned off, and I'm not going to listen to it. I'm going to go to the next song. There's a whole thing it's called audiation, is what that is. But it literally, the idea is like you're understanding what's happening in the song the way you would understand speaking, like our conversation right now.
Yeah.
Like mannerisms, what you say and how you say it tells what's coming next. Same thing with music. Same thing with the song and chord progressions and what these people are doing. So when you guess what's coming next, you are understanding it the way you would a conversation, and then you've already guessed what, and I'm turned off at that point, and I don't want to listen to it.
It's like spoiler alert for movies.
That's why I like the progressive stuff. Like Protest the Hero, for example, or Pliny, which that's, he's so great. But
I wasn't a big fan of that EP for some reason.
Sunhead,
Yeah, it's good.
Now I'll tell you, it is different than his other stuff. His other stuff, like especially his early stuff, is super Chan, like very, very Chan.
Chan.
And then he kind of got a little bit more like toward kind of like Scale the Summit, I feel like, just a little bit. But there's another group I can't think of.
Not
right
like
now.
Polyphia or somebody like that.
Polyphia, yeah, like Polyphia, yeah.
Trap metal.
And then, but not as trap though.
Okay.
But like, it's hard to. You'd have to listen to it. Like
Polyphia is a prime example of knowing how to cater to your audience.
they really are, and I like their stuff overall. But sometimes they do piss me off.
When Goat came out, they had so many people saying, this song is incredible. How did I not know about this band? It's because they never put out a song like that until that song.
Pliny is great though because
Smart dudes. Smart.
all
dudes.
composed and produced by him, and he just hires the guys. They come in, they play the music, and they are done. They go on tour, do whatever.
Drummer's real good.
He's
real tight.
very, very good. But all of his stuff sounds different though. And like when I say different, like he expounds on ideas. He doesn't just do different for the sake of doing different. Like that's what I can't stand either. Is
Yeah.
when people are like, oh well, it's different. That you need to understand that like artists need to develop. I'm like, no, yeah, you're totally right. Except you don't need to do something different for the sake of doing it different, and then just saying, oh, it's different, so it's better. That's not how that works.
Nope.
That's
like me for who I am.
yeah. Perfect
I'm
example.
different.
I might be
example.
fat, but I have a great personality.
Mumford and Sons. Perfect example right there. Their first album, pure gold. I will fight tooth and nail anybody that wants to fight me on that.
I quit liking Mumford and Sons when I came to UAB.
Yeah.
Oh, why when you came to UAB?
It was just like, it was that prime 2013.
Yeah.
Everybody was getting into folk music.
And they're calling him Mumford. I listen to Mumford.
I put a capo on fret 4.
Yeah.
And play A minor
but-
chord.
Yo,
Yeah.
who the fuck talks like that at UAB, man?
Oh, it's all the hipsters.
Yeah, I don't know if
we don't.
we knew each other and knew who. I don't think you had came to UAB
So
yet.
when Josh was there a whole year before me,
Yeah,
and him
I
and
was already done.
him and I had classes on. We would literally sit down and plan out the next semester to make sure him and I were in classes together. Because and I'll tell you why though. Because
That's great, man.
Because one of the biggest things is if you have somebody in your class that you're like friends with and can like get on the same level with, you're automatically going to do better because you can work on the same stuff together. Like we worked on theory for hours.
College is crucial to have a network because my
You
first
really-
semester
yes.
of my first year at UAB, I did horrible because I was doing it all on my
Yeah.
own. I had no friends that I took classes with. After me, you, James,
Yeah. And
and Davis,
Yeah.
locked in.
Man.
We were
unstoppable.
My GPA was climbing up
We-
as high as it could at the
And
time.
like Josh and I were going to shows together. We were always at Syndicate. We were always going. I was
So,
going to some of the Bird's
side-
Nest shows.
Maybe that's why fraternities and sororities so like people like them, right?
That's one of the biggest deals is you have a network of people.
so
Sunday nights in the libraries when all the sororities and frats would go do homework.
So yeah, here's my weird thing, right? I'm the exact opposite. I can't when
That's
I'm in
totally cool.
when I'm in
Yes.
when I'm in groups of people, I'm weird. So when I'm in groups of people, I just find out I just want to talk and I just stop doing any work. When it comes to work, it just needs to be me in a crowded place, just some background noise, and that to me that's like my happy spot when I work.
Yeah.
But when
That's
there's
cool.
when there's people, I have to talk to them. I don't know. I just like talking to people, getting to know them,
Yeah.
in a way. But that's all I
In
had to
some
say
cases, I
about that.
wish I was like that, but I really like Josh and I, when we work on theory stuff, we would argue and argue over classifications of things,
And it was
especially
the same,
in atonal.
It was the same answer It was just two different ways of getting to the answer.
And we would fight each other like you would not believe.
Screaming matches.
But I'll tell you, it was good because I heard another perspective, and then we'd go talk to Dr. Price, and he'd shoot us both down.
Yeah. And then he would just tell us
he'd
both
pull
to
out-
be quiet. And this is how you should do it.
Yeah.
He opens the drawer of red pens and just like
Yeah.
He
cracks
just
it open.
eats
I
our-
fought that man. I was like, Dr. Price, it's opinion. He goes, no, it's not. It's what I want. I said, that's what I'm saying.
It's your opinion.
It's your opinion.
That meme.
Dude, he's
But I still respect the absolute mess out of that man.
He's-
I want to be him, honestly.
He's great, man, dude. I don't know if I ever told you this, but when I had a question about Theory One, it was like something simple, like parallel fifths. We had a 30-minute conversation about hip hop,
Yeah.
and it took 30 seconds to answer the question. I was like, all right, see you later, man.
He's just so like he knows his stuff, and he loves like teaching. Like you mentioned, Nick Tyler doing it because he loves it.
Right.
Dr. Price does it because he loves it.
Right.
And he's not afraid to answer questions. He wants you to ask questions. He wants you to come to his office to ask him stuff. I'd go talk to him and ask him stuff. We talked about Iron Maiden sometimes. Most of the time, I
Frank
should tell you.
Zappa. You know, all that.
Frank Zappa. He wants to talk about Zappa all the time. To go listen to Zappa and go find something to relate with him on. Like
Go find his dissertation and read it.
Jesus.
250 pages on like
50 measures of music.
gosh.
I'm pretty sure Dr. Price could be.
Now that I think about it, that
sabbaticals-
doesn't sound that far fetched.
Man, I'm pretty
After
sure when he
our
goes
papers,
on,
no, it doesn't.
when he goes on sabbaticals, he just goes and learns other things. He just finishes nursing school in like a
Well,
sabbatical, just for fun.
I think he wrote a book this last time.
I think so.
I think
Really?
that was what he took the sabbatical for. Was
He had to
write
take
a
the
book.
sabbatical too. Like I think they made him.
I think so too, because he never takes off. But he was like, "All right, fine. If you're gonna I'm gonna go work then."
I'm gonna go do my other job.
And that
Write a
goes.
book.
I think he wrote. That's the rumor that I heard.
And that goes back to the whole when I was talking about water whipping Evan, you were talking about what's the engineer's name? So I'm not disrespectful. The engineer you were talking about who keeps on working, he does demos.
Billy Decker.
I think it just comes from passion because
Yeah.
they always
Totally.
They
Totally.
You
never forget where you came from. Kind
yeah,
of deal.
and you're not going to be working on major label records every week.
Right.
It's
No.
that's not going to happen. The sooner you accept that fact, the better off you're going to be. You're going to have to do local people demos and stuff like that. It's
And honestly, part of that too, you need to enjoy doing that stuff because that's local. Like you need to celebrate the whole like. Look, these guys are in my town. They're freaking doing it. Like
yeah, they're trying.
they are
Actually
literally
trying.
they're putting everything into it. Like I should be supporting that. That's one of the reasons I love the DIY stuff. I know I kind of, make fun of it a little bit, but that's just
Well,
because
There are other
That's just
aspects
because
of the
they're-
DIY scene that
Exactly.
could be better.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you're always going to have those people that are super needy and they're going to be like, "Hey man, can you like compress the mess out of my voice and give me a lot of reverb?" And you're like, "Buddy, I got 2 channels to work with and I don't have
This
any
board
outboard
doesn't
gear."
even have reverb.
Yeah,
so
it's
if you didn't-
analog
if
and
you
I have
didn't
no
bring your
outboard
own
gear, so-
plate to make reverb, I don't want to hear it.
Unless you're going to plug your mic in,
Lexicon.
yeah, unless you're going to plug your vocal mic into your guitar amp with reverb, you're not getting reverb. So no.
Unless you got a reverb pedal.
Yeah. But
I don't
the
see
local
no Pro
stuff
Tools
is great.
session.
Like I honestly in most cases would prefer the local stuff because they're in your town, man. They're freaking doing it and that's just so cool.
I don't know, man. I guess when it comes to rappers, I like people from different areas, mainly from the north, because
Well,
to me they're more. To me, they're.
I will
Interesting.
attest to what you're saying.
I think it's different because I'm not, don't get me wrong, I am not in the rap scene at all.
Right.
Well,
But I feel like
it's not too different from being in the metal scene.
But, like-
it all kind of stems from the same.
Well, and I feel like a lot of that too
Styles.
is like it's, different locations or different sounding and whatnot. Now, when it comes to rap, I don't really hear a lot of the differences, but that's
Right.
that people don't hear a lot of the differences in metal, but I hear, insane differences. Like Josh and I can talk for days about that, but it's just, it's just different.
It's pop music, or it's the formula of pop music.
Yeah.
If you're a ghostwriter,
Yeah.
you're gonna write the same song and just repackage it because that's how you're gonna make your living. That's when people say it all sounds the same. Yeah,
They're hiring the same people.
Yeah,
They're
they're hiring
hired
the same
to make it
team of
sound like
writers
that.
One of my friends
because it's popular. You keep listening to it. you're just feeding this machine.
It's just a never-ending cycle.
As
Yeah.
long as you're listening to that playlist on Spotify or Apple Music with those songs and you keep listening to those songs, they're going to keep making those songs.
Yeah, the nerdy fucking Asians doing the algorithms like, they like listening to this playlist.
That's
Make
right.
more music like this. That's
right.
what's going to happen.
That's exactly right.
And what you're talking about, the rap scene, it's the same YBN type beat or, Lil Baby type beat. Whoever is the flavor of the week, I will download 80 insert artist type beats. Because they're all trying to, and a clout chase, I guess, is the only word I can think of.
That's why I love working with those guys I work with from Brooklyn and Queens and even some guys in LA, because like West Coast has got a completely different sound from basically almost all your East Coast. Anderson .Paak, for example,
Oh, man,
I don't know
his
if
new record is so
it's amazing.
good.
You ever heard of Anderson .Paak?
I have.
You need to
I'm not- I
have you
don't
listened
really
to
listen.
Oxnard?
No.
Dog.
It's amazing.
Dog.
It's amazing.
So
I
good.
He also came through on his Malibu
I'll
record.
cue it up.
Yeah, it was the Malibu record. It's amazing because he's a drummer too. He's a multi-instrumentalist.
So good. He's so good at drums.
I think that's my dream.
Anderson
man.
.Paak is?
Yes.
Anderson.
Really?
Dude, he's like
He was just on
his,
SNL.
His feel on Kit is so good.
He was also on SNL.
Oxnard?
Yeah,
Oxnard,
his new
yeah.
record, it's so good.
Just artists in general from the West Coast. They're more funk, G-funk, jazz influence, and a lot of
that
their
would
stuff.
be more New York on the jazz side.
Say what?
I thought New York would be more the jazz.
New York
influence.
is more grimy,
Like
grimy
bebop.
and aggressive, basically.
So super fast bebop jazz and all that.
I wouldn't say bebop and
Or
jazz.
is it
they're
more
like
hip hop fusion kind of jazz now? That's
So-
what I've been seeing.
yes, kind of in that sense, because a lot of we can argue the internet everywhere has sort of the same sound, but I'm talking about people who are from the region. Like, there's a difference between how Big Crit sounds and how
Yeah.
the Migos sounds. You could still hear where their influences, where they came from. in
Migos
the way
from
they make
Atlanta,
music.
right?
Yes, Migos is an Atlanta-based group. But New
ATL.
York
My
is still
girlfriend likes
very
him a lot.
New York is still
Sorry.
very.
I like Migos. They're chill.
They're fun. They're fun.
They're-
They know what they do.
They're pretty chill.
I had a client say
I just don't like
Quavo was better than Tupac.
I'll tell you what I
But
don't
I was
like.
like, yeah, it's fine.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what I don't like when it comes
What?
to rap and hip hop and everything.
What a sport.
I don't like just absolutely spewing garbage all the time. Like I like when they tell stories or like just talk about experiences or whatever it may be. But like when all they do is talk about drugs and sex and like
Guns.
in the way that they do,
In the most country accent possible.
in the way
Guns.
in the way that they do, that's what I don't like because I know everything talks about sex and everything else. But like it's just like the words they use. I just don't like it.
Funny. When client, I have many a client who do that. Hey Josh, can you make a radio edit? Yeah, I'll get a text. Where's the song? Well, I had to cut out most of it that you said because it's not allowed on radio. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Oops.
They were like, what do you mean? I was like, you can't say this, you can't say this, you can't say this on radio because the FCC has guidelines that you have to follow
Yep.
on public radio. Now,
Right.
XM, you can get away with pretty much whatever, right? Like, you don't have to make radio edits
I think
on
there's
XM.
On XM, it's
It's-
uncensored.
yeah, but like
because they pay for it.
Right.
public radio, that's
exactly. It's totally separate. Yep.
yeah,
It's private.
public
Yeah.
radio, that's freebie for you and me.
Public
Can't
radio.
be dropping F-bombs
Yeah.
every other word.
Yeah, but going back to the whole what New York is, there's still a lot of their stuff they like doing. I'd say they're more influenced by trap than the West Coast is. I mean, you do still hear trap style drums and some West Coast stuff, but it's a lot more. There's a lot more instrumentations and things are a lot more intricate on the West Coast, or the way MC will deliver a verse is a little more. In my opinion, in my taste, it's a little more, intricate, more well thought out. New York, the underground scene is, it's still very traditional. I think it's mainstream New York. It's got trap, but it's still got a little New York flavor, and I don't know how to explain it, to be honest, because I haven't been doing this that long.
dive into the details. That really doesn't concern me. To be perfectly honest,
Right.
as an engineer, like, say what you want, say how you want. I'll put my 2 cents in when needed, but as long as it sounds good to me, other than that, I mean, to be honest, I don't care.
Sometimes I don't even trust my own ear. That's why I always like to interact with the artist because
Play it on the phone. If it sounds good on the phone, it's game over.
Well, I'm talking about, if you're talking about sonics, I'm talking about, the character of the song, if it came through, right? That's when I have to talk to the artist. Because that's more the artsy, subjective kind of stuff. Technical stuff, yeah, just blast it on a MacBook Pro speakers, your iPhone speakers. If it sounds decent there, yeah, go ahead.
Most of the guys I work with now are pretty regulating on delivery and how they're conveying what they're conveying. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've gotten to the caliber of like that's on their mind, not so much that I have to coerce it.
No. I'm not saying like I helicopter them how they should deliver. I'm saying on my mixing end, did I do the best I could for their performance? Did it fit what they was going for? Do you kind of get what I'm saying?
Well, that's not. I wouldn't put that in mixing. That's engineering right there. That's like you when you're tracking. Like if you sent me a song and I didn't like the way it was tracked, I can't really do anything about it at that point.
There are certain you just literally can't change it.
Yeah, like if a drummer plays really bad and I have to do so much editing that it makes it sound fake, like.
Well, I'm saying like to a point what I could do. Like I obviously can't control if they recorded it in a bathroom, but on the things I can control.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if I'm making sense, but
yeah, on that front, I put that on the producer and the engineer and the recording engineer. Like, if it doesn't sound good coming in, no amount of mixing fixes is gonna make it better. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to. There's a lot of that I've learned is you got to catch it on the front end. Mm-hmm. Like,
that's true.
If it doesn't sound good raw, it's not good. Like no amount of auto-tune. I have another thought about auto-tune. I'll put up no amount of reverb, delay, compression, EQ is gonna make a performance better. You know,
obviously not.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about the things I can control. You kind of get what I'm saying? Because sometimes when I mix, right, there's some. Like a lot of guys from New York, they're more of like the more jazz fusion hip hop, right? Mm-hmm. So I figured out, my ear for like underground grimy shit or trap music or West Coast wavy stuff, that doesn't really apply to them. Kind of like when I had to mix jazz one time, right? I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I can't approach that the same way I would approach, grimy underground New York hip hop. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Shifting the way you approach it.
Shifting gears, because...
Yeah, you can't...
Because it's their music. It's not like... I don't want to be that engineer who just slaps his dick on the song and be like, yeah, it's good now. I want to make sure it's to what, to the characteristics, what they like.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. I don't want people to like necessarily know that I mix that song. If it's good... and I service the song. Exactly. That's what I try to do when I mix something. Mm-hmm. Is I want to at least make it better after I had to fix it.
Yeah.
I don't. There are some dudes you just know who you automatically know who mixed that song because they'll do like you said. Just, yep. Here you go.
That's me.
That's me. That's me and my big old penis.
But a lot of people will send their stuff to those types of mix engineers just for
their sound,
yeah, just for that name.
Yeah.
And
dude, that's crazy, man. An engineer being more famous than a band.
That is not uncommon.
That's crazy to think about, man. Because the superstars they're supposed to be the musicians, and the engineers or all you people working technical supposed to be behind the scenes.
The raw files that exist on those hard drives out there could ruin some careers.
God, I wonder how many lives Bob Power could ruin, man. Bob Power did a lot of stuff for like the Roots, Erykah Badu, I think so. A lot of like really
any
old
of your like top tier mix engineers probably have some mega dirt.
Oh yeah.
But back on auto tune, I have one story I need to tell. So I was working on a session, right? And it was one of those tracks where they wanted like the auto tune, like not to tune the vocals, they wanted the sound. They wanted that T-Pain robot, super gridded pitch moves. And so we were working on it. I had like dabbled with what key the beat was in. I'm gonna give everybody a little lesson on how auto-tune works. You set the key, right? So let's say the key of our song is in C major. All the white keys on a piano, right? So when you sing, auto-tune doesn't pull it to what you think the melody is. It pulls it to whatever note you were closest to. So we were working on this track, and this man was just not singing the melody right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was one of those beats where the bass was in a different key than the rest of the track. You know what I'm talking about. I know what you're
talking about,
the
dude.
808 bass was in a whole nother key than the like bell part. And so I'm trying to tune these vocals, and he is singing in a just totally different time zone.
Hey, it's avant-garde, okay? Maybe you should do that.
It was not avant-garde.
It's an artistic decision.
I had to argue with this person for 20 minutes. I was like, you're not singing in the key. I had to go in there and do it to put my point across.
Jesus.
Oh, man, those are the most frustrating, where it's like you're trying to explain something and they just won't listen.
Dude, it's even crazier when you run into an artist who knows some things about engineering.
Just enough to be dangerous.
Dude.
That's what kills me about some of the live stuff I do.
Yeah.
Because when you're setting up and you're doing your thing, and like you kind of get into a little bit of a troubleshooting spot, and they're like, "Oh, what about this?" You're like, "Buddy,
please stop."
I've literally I promise you, it's not that.
I'm
because
about
I've
5 steps ahead of where you're at right now, man.
And they're like, "Well, I'm just trying to help." I'm like, "No, I get that, but like, just
I would do it just to troll you.
But can you imagine?
turning it off and back on again?
hey, make sure it's the right cable, man.
Did you plug it up?
Are you using quarter-inch or XLR? Okay, well, they're freaking different. So,
But I'm talking about.
Are you in channel 1 or 2?
God.
But I'm thinking about, like, you're really high. Obviously, you're a ridiculous high tier artist like Dr. Dre. Like he's an engineer.
Yeah, he mixed
Oxnard.
Anderson. Yeah, he mixed Anderson Paak's new
Actually,
record.
Anderson .Paak I think he signed under Dr. Dre.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not sure. I don't know, but that sounds.
He is. So I just imagine how intimidating it is. Like, for some reason, Dr. Dre books a studio. I don't know why, but let's just say he did for some reason. Even though he's got his own, he just books a studio, and like the engineer's there, and he has to work for Dr. Dre. And Dr. Dre knows everything about.
At that
mixing.
point, I would just let him do it. Like,
Yeah,
if it's one of those situations, I would just be there to patch something or to set up the Pro Tools sessions, because he probably would like. I guess because every studio is different when you're routing everything.
I guess my point is when you get clients who are decently knowledgeable about what's going on
they're
on
more
the other side of the
dangerous
window,
than it's worth.
Right. When they're on it's such a treat because they know exactly.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah. At least in my cases, it's been a treat because they'll be like, "Hey, I think I had some guy say, hey, I need a little more compression on the reverb,' and that just kind of blew my mind because I wouldn't think, hey, you don't need compressed reverb, but I did it and it sounded good and it's what he wanted. It's like, yeah, just like that, and adjust that attack. It was like, wow, why the fuck did you hire me? I was like, I don't know.
I just don't listen to those people.
Well,
I mean, to be honest, I'll do it in the moment, and then as soon as they're gone, I'm gonna take it off and do it my way. And then when I get the text from, dude, this sounds incredible. Well,
I guess
you hired me to do my job, so let me do my job.
I guess he was just trying to throw a little tidbit out there, but
that may be, but
because my experience, like, I know you get annoyed when you have helicopter clients, right? He wasn't a helicopter client. He just kind of threw in his 2 cents and like, hey, try this. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it in the moment, but as soon as I really don't like people encroaching on what I'm doing. Let me mix the song and send it to you before you start, forming your opinion. Because I hate it. I hate it so much. It doesn't sound that good. It's raw, dog.
Yeah,
They ain't nothing on it.
Buddy, you got to give it a minute.
Yeah, this is like
You gotta give it some time,
We
man.
cooking here.
You gotta
Yeah,
give it some
right.
time.
You're chowing on some raw chicken at this moment right
Hey,
now.
these chicken tendies ain't cooked yet.
My fingies.
Yo, doesn't James charge extra for people who want to sit in while he's mixing?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know if he does, but
I
he probably
think so.
does.
Yeah,
Well,
he told me
Here's
that.
what happens: is a lot of the time I just tell him book an extra hour, and I'll.
I'm the same way.
In this day and age of I have to do everything, I do it all. I produce the vocals, I record the vocals, I mix everything, and now I master it all in the same session. So I usually tell people, if you need an hour, you need to give me an hour. An hour of studio time is not enough
No,
to do
it's
anything.
not even enough to do a 2-track. In my opinion.
I make it happen, but
Well,
if I had 2 hours, we could do a lot more.
exactly.
We could have more takes, do more stuff. Ideally, to do one song, I would like 3 hours, so we had some like extra leeway.
Last question we're going to talk about is, do you think, earlier, right, you were asking me what the hell did I mean when I said, what do you think is the future of this kind of field, right?
Yeah.
And I said I was going to elaborate on it. So think about this. Let's talk, since we're in the realm of audio, let's talk about it. Well, not even audio. Let's talk about telephones, right? You used to have people who would patch you through, and that was a job. And, obviously technology got better, and that job's not there anymore. You used to have tape operators. Well, everything's in the box. That's not there anymore. You used to have, gas stations way back. They used to have gas station attendees where they would
come pump your gas for you.
That's not there anymore. So,
Man,
what I'm trying
wish we
to
still were.
say is, you think this kind of field, right? What we do. Oh wait, before I go on that, let me say one more thing. Lander.
I was just about to say they've got automated mastering services already.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, I think this just happens to every career, but I think it's gonna happen to this one pretty soon. When do you think that? Do you think the next big leap in technology,
like tech boost?
tech boost, basically, is gonna basically make our jobs kind of die down and go away? Because that happened to radio DJs as well, where there's not even a DJ on the other side anymore. Most
I
of the time,
think
it's automated. It's a program.
I'm sure AI mixing will eventually make a. I've used Lander. I don't like it. It literally just sounds like it made it louder.
Do you know? Before you go on, do you know that Lander? I heard it's actually. Fuck! I interrupted you. Keep going. My bad.
I did. I sent a song to mastering, and I paid the whatever, like $20 to Lander it, and when I got the master back, I'm gonna pick the mastering engineer every time. There's something about a human element, analog gear, or just plugins. Like there's something about like somebody's brain and ears listening to it. AI it's algorithms, right? It's just ones and zeros. It could be like physically correct, right? Like the bass is in the perfect spot, but I don't know. There's just some human element.
I heard Lander actually learns what you send in. That's what I heard, right? So it's not just like a cookie cutter master. It starts to learn what you send in, right? I heard that if two different engineers, like they have two different accounts, they send the same mix. Like it was mixed by the same guy, just two different accounts. The master will sound slightly different because it's catered to a different engineer, catered to a different.
So it changes the algorithm to fit what you've sent previously.
Right, it starts to learn from you a little bit. For example, like if a metal guy and a country guy, their hip hop guy sends them both a hip hop song to send to their Lander. Both of them would sound a little bit different, right? And then also going back to the human element of mastering, right? Most people can't afford a mastering guy.
Big facts.
Right. So what are they going to do? They're going to go cheaper. They're going to go to the one-stop shop,
Man,
like us, to mix and master recording the same one, or they're going to have a program do it because it's cheaper. So you kind of see where I'm getting at now?
Yeah,
Where
I think
everything's
it's
become-
already happened. I mean, big studios are shutting down left and right all the time. Because, like, before, like, 2007, you had to go to a studio to record. Like, you didn't have a choice. Like, kind of like, I feel like the big tech boom for the home studio happened in, like, 2010.
Right.
Kind of that region of time. But, like, any time before that, you had to go to a actual studio. Now, the first studio I ever went in wasn't even a studio. It was a gym, like a weight room that got converted with some, like, paneling, if you can call that. But that was in, like, 2008, 2009, when the kind of bedroom studio had started to become popular. Okay, we're still recording.
I feel like for the automated stuff, like there's and this goes for a lot of different things because like everybody, it brings up AI and they bring up robots taking people's jobs.
Have you seen
stuff.
Boston Dynamics? I think that's what they call
Oh,
it.
the dog.
Boston?
The dog
Oh,
is-
yes.
Oh,
It
looks
looks
creepy.
dude, they came up. There was rumors. I'm cutting you off again.
No,
but let
you're
me say
fine.
this.
Go ahead.
But they came up with this robot, right? It's called Eater, and this would completely breach any kind of Geneva Convention agreement. It's the point of Eater, right? It cannibalizes corpses and use them as fuel.
Ah,
so
I know
what they
you're
would
talking
do.
about.
I mean, it's already decommissioned.
Yikes.
They said, fuck this, we're not doing this anymore. But what it would do is basically after a battle, they just, all right, send out the eaters. 10 of these motherfuckers would go around, eat the bodies, and then we regenerate. And that's how they fuel up.
Well, for one, those dog robots look like the ones from Black Mirror. By the way, have you seen that?
Oh, no.
The ones that literally do that.
I've seen it.
And then also AI, there's a moral issue with AI because of that right there. So it's good that they said no to that. Because if you start having this artificial intelligence learning these things and it learns these violent acts and it starts to think that that's normal, then you have a moral issue because then these eaters are going to go out and that's how like we start having even more issues than what we've got.
All right, but let's talk about what you were talking about before I cut you off.
So,
My bad.
so a lot of the whole thing with like automated mastering services, automated mixing services, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. A lot of that too is there's always, I don't think as a society, like with everything, I don't think it's going to go all in on that though. And I think that applies to all fields. Like that kind of goes into my point of it's not necessarily bad that there's mastering services that are like that because it can cater to some of the more low budget stuff, but also like it's not good in the sense that it kind of starts kicking, it starts making more of a divide. But like, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. I mean, technology is going to get to the point people are going to, the jobs, what I think are going to really happen is the jobs are going to shift a little bit where rather than you're going to have the guys doing the mastering, you're going to have the guys working on that service. And they're going to like tweaking the service and doing the
your
programming.
mastering
and
engineers are going to turn
you're
into
taking jobs way
programmers.
over here and making jobs over on the other side. It's a give and take.
Because the main thing is streamlining and cheaper.
That's exactly
That's
right.
the main thing.
And what's
It's
going to
just
happen
pushing
is
more product.
I mean, look
because
at
you're
this
always
boy.
going to need somebody to work on the machine or the software. Like that's that because we are the end result in the sense of we will be able to fix it if it's broken, but that also plays into the same aspect of like you have to have, you have to know what you're doing with this AI because if it gets to that point, down the road, it can become dangerous. It can very well become dangerous.
Of course. I mean, going back to the tech boom you were talking about, Josh. I mean, look at that boy. That's not an SSL 9000J. And then you know what else can replace that? A Scarlett i2.
Yeah.
It could almost do the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Except
let's talk about microphones, right? Who the fuck needs a $3,600 mic, a Neumann U87, when you can buy Aston Origin used for $180?
Or you could buy the Slate virtual microphone.
Exactly.
You can get all these crazy expensive vintage mics that I have heard the demos on the Slate. Like, it's good. It's real good. The algorithms.
I need to look into this late stuff. I've seen their stuff everywhere. I've not actually tried
Plugins
it
are
myself,
dope.
though.
Right.
That
Plugins too.
the virtual console thing is sick.
Yeah, I've not tried. I've not tried that.
Scared me on.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I almost fell down.
It does like console emulations, and that Neve console emulation is real good.
I love my UAD Neve 1073. My man.
I mean, I'm so excited. I'm excited for this change though. I'm not scared because I have my income is diversified. If my mixing gig goes away, so be it. That's just
and I
the
think
way
it's
it is.
important to
I'm
enjoy
excited and a little bit, I
Yeah.
guess anxious is the best way to describe it.
You just got to make it. The key is making it look larger than life. Like, I don't need this Control 24. All I need is my laptop, and I can make something sound good. But the gear is more of an illusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, the lore of the studio.
Well, I feel
like there's always something about coming to the studio to record. Like, people make it to be a big deal. Like, to us, it's.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a big laptop.
I think the gear is important to a point because it's a tool to help you do your job. And if it's a certain sound you want that you're only going to get from this one piece of gear and you want that and you need that, even if it's only wanting it, just do it. Use it. Grab
You
it.
write it off on your taxes as a work expense.
That's right. Work
Expense.
Here's
Work
the dangerous
expense.
part, right?
Expense.
Here's a-
Yes, it's spent.
It's a work
Spent
expense.
that money.
Here's the last little tidbit I'll say, right? Here's the dangerous part where more money is made off selling audio gear than is made off audio gear.
Yeah.
That's a real big danger.
Yes.
Yeah, I buy stuff and sell it again. I'm really proud of myself for narrowing down pretty much what I use. If I don't use it every day, I got rid of it.
Yeah.
I use Mic DSP, and if you don't use Mic DSP, you need to because
Yeah, I
They're
don't
just-
use big DSP.
they're so good. I have a lot of Waves plugins that I don't use, i.e. that SSL pack. I have SSL's certified plugins, like
The ones they created.
yeah, the ones they made. I use Mic DSP, SSL, Slate, and just some random knickknacks I've picked up off the interwebs.
Yeah.
I don't use UAD solely because I don't have.
You got to get their processors.
Yeah,
that's the thing about it.
I understand that is a killer marketing strategy. You can't, like Waves. If you had to have a Waves, box to come with you just to use those plugins, you would almost immediately just use those plugins.
Well, so I think you're right to a point, but at the same token, like my main workstation is my laptop, and I want to try and relieve as much pressure as I can off of my
the old
processor.
DSP.
So all those DSP processors allow me to do that. So
Yeah, for sure.
if I can solely keep as much UAD stuff running as I can, those interfaces take care of all of it, and then my laptop can take care of recording.
Not gonna lie, those UAD converters are.
They sound amazing.
They
like,
doing
sound
some
great.
work.
like it's not just a ploy. Like they actually do sound really freaking.
It's almost-
good.
they're doing some, like when you bounce
Yes.
something.
Yes.
The only thing I've found that rivals the Apollo is my Audient ID20, and it's got the same converters they put in their boards.
Yeah.
I mean, think of it like that Skyrim conversation we were having.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Imagine
yeah.
if all that DSP, imagine if all that pressure was put on your computer.
Oof.
Yeah, that would be gone.
Well, it crashes.
Exactly.
And your session stops.
Just like Skyrim.
Pro Tools quits. Yeah, exactly.
Pro Tools says I'm out.
Pro Tools says,
But sometimes Pro
Pro
Tools
Tools
just
says
quits.
CPU overload is what it's.
Pro Tools will just quit to
It
make
just
you
stops.
mad. I've been working too well. I need to crash real fast
Man, I think
to show this man who's the boss.
I
Yeah,
think
right,
we'll wrap it up
exactly.
here. But you guys, any last things you want to talk about? Any last rambles? I hate to end so abruptly. 'cause
No,
this
you're
was
good,
fun
man.
conversation.
We've been here for almost
kind of
3
lost
hours.
track of time, honestly.
It's been like almost a 3-hour
I think so.
deal.
That's some
I-
Joe Rogan podcast right there.
It's been one of the longest episodes I've had so far. I mean, all my episodes, I had one run for only like an hour and a half, one run for like 2
That's pretty
hours.
average. An hour and
2
a half.
hours. This
an
one's
hour.
run like
The long
close.
I will say the long form conversation is making a comeback. Like
I prefer that honestly because it's a little bit more natural.
yeah,
Like,
a
I
lot
like
of
all of those
a lot
podcasts.
of
He got the text. It's
so
more
a lot of
Yep.
a lot of broadcast like networks. I guess what you're trying to say. I'm gonna kind of guess what you're saying. They're kind of The internet is a new medium of media.
Yeah.
I guess is what you're trying to say. Where you're free to say whatever the fuck you want, whenever you want to, and you don't have to worry about getting fired because you're the boss. Is your wife telling you to go home, Josh?
No, she's saying she's going to bed.
Oh,
She
man.
has to get up at like 5.
She's got to get up at
tomorrow.
5, do some basic training. She's joining the fucking SEALs.
I'll be up at 5:30 tomorrow.
She has to be at. She has. Sorry, hey
Got it
man.
again.
Hey man.
The wifey is lifey, man.
That's right. Happy
Well.
house, happy.
What?
Happy mouse. Happy
I
house.
said that. Happy spouse, happy house.
Oh,
Hey, man.
Okay.
Both of us have to be happy. But
That's
I
right.
mean,
That's right.
this just clients is just like having a significant other. It's a give and take relationship. At first, you're gonna be given a lot,
Yeah.
not a lot in return, but eventually it pays off. No,
Man.
she just gotta.
I appreciate you having us.
Well,
Yeah, this was dope.
Man, thank
we
you.
need a part 2.
man, first of all, Josh, thank you for providing the space because
Yeah.
James wasn't able to be at the studio for where I usually have it at. Drew, thanks for coming out.
Thanks, man.
I should have brought you guys like some alcohol or something like
No,
a
you're
little
good.
gift. But yeah,
I appreciate
thank-
you having us.
No problem. It was a great conversation. We'll definitely have a part 2. And yeah, thanks for coming out. And I think that's
Next time there'll be more yelling.
yeah, that is a
We
wrap.
can really get into stories
There's
that
a-
Josh and I have at that point.
Oh man,
Oh,
there's
man.
so many. Part 2 will be college,
College.
just
Oh.
college.
I feel like a lot of the listeners are gonna be confused because there's a very audio centric conversation and 2 weeks ago was like very medical oriented. And
That's
my
the
first
cool
That could be
thing.
cool,
I
though.
I
Yeah.
like podcasts where all
That could be very cool.
the guests are from different fields. Like
I can't
not
wait.
to keep plugging Joe Rogan, but like he has just some of the craziest
I like his
people
stuff.
from like deep sea diving to guys who have PhDs in mathematics.
I
And
can't.
everybody in between.
I can't wait to get that Bitcoin miner on this show.
Oh, that
Anyways, we gotta cut this
I
off
have
now.
no
Or we're gonna go.
idea
We're gonna go on
anything
another
about
ramble.
Bitcoin.
All right, let's stop. Clap. That's it.
Yeet.
Review. Oh, there's a fucking password here, man.